The Stewart's TV and Appliance pregame show starts now on the Lorain County Sports Network, your home for high school sports. Tune in for the Coach's Corner presented by Buckeye Community Bank, where we speak to the coaches and get their thoughts on the season, this game, and their teams moving forward. Don't forget, immediately following the last play of the game, join us for the Postgame Scoreboard Show presented by I-90 Nissan, featuring live interviews with players and coaches from around Lorain County. You can watch the postgame show live on Facebook at WOBL WDLW Sports. Tonight's games are brought to you by Lang Optical, Stewart's TV and Appliance, Buckeye Community Bank, Mental Health and Addiction Recovery Services of Lorain County, Justin Miller, Esquire, Jamie's Carpet Shop, Lorain County Visitors Bureau, Lorain County Clerk of Courts Tom Orlando, Derek Hammonds of State Farm Insurance, Lorain County Prosecutor J.D. Tomlinson, Vans Auto Repair and Tire Pros, Lorain County Community College, Jadasco Insurance, Steve Lawson of Russell Real Estate Services, Lorain County Recorder Mike Duran, E.H. Roberts Heating and Cooling, Achieve Credit Union, Jeff Allison of Health Markets Insurance, Ernie's Auto Body, Brian Victor of Howard Hanna, I-90 Nissan, Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, Al Januzzi CPA, Zabo Apparel Company, Valley Chevrolet, Jones Bones Barbecue and Grub, Network Land Title Agency, Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Lorain County, Rich Ramsey for Judge, Brian Baker for Lorain County Commissioner, Rich Resendez for Sheriff, Elyria Jewelers and Repair, Lorain County Commissioner David Moore, Jack Hall for Sheriff, Kelly Dieter for State Representative, and Giovanna Scarletta Bremke. After the break, we will talk to both of the coaches in tonight's matchup. Like, follow, and subscribe to Lorain County Sports Network on YouTube. It's time for Lorain County's Friday Night Lights with WOBL and WDLW Sports.
Welcome back into the Stewart's TV and Appliance pregame show, getting ready for kickoff between Amherst and Midview tonight. Time now for us to get back to the Buckeye Community Bank Coach's Corner today and tomorrow. Your partner for growth, that's Buckeye Community Bank, and we're joined by Amherst head coach Tom Thome. Coach, we appreciate you giving us a few moments of your time. Outstanding start, 3-0 so far this season. You guys are doing a lot of things right, and it seems like you guys are winning the battle up front. Coach, who or what specifically has stood out in the trenches for you through the first 3 games?
You know, up front on the offensive line, we have 5 new starters. Cole Mayer is a senior, came back from not playing last year. Jacob Bowden, our guard, he was injured last year with an ACL. But Hunter Thornsberry had a great JV season last year. Jay Bush had a great JV season last year, and so did Jordan Hatfield. So we knew we had 3 guys returning from our JV season that just needed seasoning, need to get bigger in the weight room. Our defensive line, we've got a lot of athletes out there. No one really over 210, but just guys that just get to the ball, that have, that tenacity, and they're just tough kids up front.
Coach, you guys are averaging almost 20 first downs per contest, so clearly you guys are doing something right to continue to move the sticks. What do you attribute that success to?
Cole Norris is an extremely smart quarterback. We obviously have a zone read game. And, we put a lot on Cole's plate. He makes the correct reads. And JR is a really tough running back that, as you see in the games, he gets tougher as the game gets going. These first 3 weeks has helped that we 2-platoon. So we're not relying on anyone really playing both ways outside of David Duziak as a slot. So I think that and conditioning and just being mentally tough, our kids have done a good job.
Being mentally tough certainly stands out when you watch your team on film. And, Coach, I'm sure there are a lot of areas where this certainly applies, but Can you pick out a couple in particular where you feel like your team has really grown, maybe not since the beginning of this year, but since you took over last year?
Yeah, I mean, we have not played our best game in the first half in all three contests. And our kids don't get, extremely, down on themselves. We just keep grinding. We know it's a 48-minute battle. There's things in the offense that we've not executed that, once we get going, I think we're going to be pretty dangerous. But our kids know that it's a complete game to win. And we go into halftime and no one's, all upset. We just, hey, what's the game plan? What do we got to do to adjust? And I think that stems from my coaching staff. My coaching staff does a great job at halftime coming out with adjustments, and the kids execute well.
Let's examine what you have defensively. You mentioned that you don't have a ton of two-way players, but you've got a lot of playmakers on defense, and it seems like you guys certainly get after it up front, but it looks like you've got athletes all over the board. Coach, who has really kind of gone above and beyond in your mind defensively?
Our safeties are, I think, our strength. Brady Engel comes over from EC, and he's already an all-Ohio free safety. But Tyler Den, number 33, is having a tremendous year so far. He's our in-the-box safety, so when we want to be more of a 4-3 or a 4-4, Ty will come down, but Ty still has great cover skills. And Brady just gets everyone where they need to be. And our corners, Ashton Draga and David Duzak, are both returning starters, and Ashton was, second team all-district. Honorable mention all-district, and just a tremendous football player.
Of course, standing in your way tonight, you take on the Midview Middies. They're also out to a nice start this season. Another very physical team, a very tough team up front. Coach, what ways do you think you're going to be tested against the Middies this evening?
We know we're going to get their best tonight. They're a physical team. They're big, a lot of athletes as well. 3 different guys running the rock. They've got wideouts that are tremendous. So we've got to play our game, though. We've got to make sure that our adjustments are right, both offensively and defensively. We got to try to take advantage of what they give us. And, defensively, we cannot give up big games. But I think the one thing a lot of high school fans forget about is special teams. Midview is tremendous in the return game. They get great field position by both their return men, and we've got to make sure that we eliminate that from their arsenal and that we're not giving them the ball on their side of the ball. We got to make sure if they score, they're going, 60, 65 yards. We're not giving them a short field all night.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, we certainly appreciate the time. Thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you the best of luck against the Middies this evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Coach. Again, that's Amherst head coach Tom Thome joining us here on the Buckeye Community Bank Coaches Corner. Buckeye Community Bank, today and tomorrow, your partner for growth. We'll take a quick timeout and come back with more after this on the Lorain County Sports Network. Cruising right along here on the Stewart's TV and Appliance pregame show. Kickoff just right around the corner between Midview and Amherst. And time now for us to return to the Buckeye Community Bank Coaches Corner. Buckeye Community Bank, today and tomorrow, your partner for growth. And we are joined right now by Midview head coach Jack Armstrong. Coach, thanks for the time as always. And we need to start by talking about this defense of yours. If my math is correct, you guys have gone 10 consecutive quarters now without giving up any points. Coach, who or what specifically has really kind of made that defense go?
I think most importantly is they're playing as a team and doing their 111s. Not just our defensive line, not just our linebackers, just not our DBs. Everyone's being physical, and we have done a good job wearing down offenses. So I think that they're going to continue with that success. Yes, people are going to score on us, but at the same time, we just got to continue to bend and not break and continue to be physical, and we'll be okay.
When we had you on a couple of weeks ago, that special teams unit really stood out, helped you guys kind of flip the field, gave you guys wonderful field position, and that's something that a lot of people in the area are talking about. Not just that you have a great kicker and you're scoring points, but it just seems like you guys are hitting on all cylinders there as well. Same question with your special teams. What's kind of made that engine go?
I kind of joked around with the kids in the off season saying that a loaf's a dirty word and average effort's a dirty word, and they kind of bought in. So on offense, defense, and special teams, the kids have that mindset that they're going to fly to the football, and that makes a big difference and puts us at an advantage on the football field.
Well, when you take a look at your results, they certainly don't lie. Undefeated and 2 consecutive shutouts. Clearly something's going well. When we spoke a couple of weeks ago, you mentioned that you guys really wanted to change the way things have been done in recent years. You started out by doing that last year, doubling the win total, and here you are out to a 3-0 start this year. I think it's safe to say that the kids have definitely bought in, but where are you guys at right now in this process of continual growth, and how pleased are you with the way things have gone the first 3 weeks?
Yeah, I'm very pleased when it comes to the result of being 3-0. That being said, what I look for as a coach is to make sure that we're fixing our mistakes and not letting up the gas. And I think that that's something that, although we're 3-0, our expectation as a program is to always win. And going into SWC, we played 3 out-of-conference teams that have in the past been good. So it prepares us for the SWC, and our expectation is to compete in every game in the SWC and kind of put Midview back on the map and not have people think that, oh, it's Midview, this is an automatic win, because that's not the case anymore. The coaches know it and the kids know it, so we're ready to roll tonight.
Do you have any kids that you think maybe you're flying under the radar that don't put up a ton of stats that maybe could be looked at as kind of unsung heroes for you?
Yeah, I think kids like seniors like Cameron West on defense and Cross Worthy, although he's a little dinged up, and Makai Massey, our nose. It's very important our defense to have a nose that demands double teams, and he does a great job with that. And we also have a returning starter at Wylam. And so I think a lot of the seniors that you don't hear, they're doing their job, and they're doing their job in the right way and making sure that they're physical and flying to the football and being good teammates. So I'm happy with the senior class. I think that that's who I'd like to highlight. And they're not only are they good football players, but they're good teammates and good people. And you always look for that on our football team.
A few weeks back, we had talked about this running game of yours and how well it was doing for you. You mentioned that you guys are loaded in that backfield. Can you talk about some of the individuals who have made that so successful for you?
Yeah, we got Michael Pazzarello, which is a junior, and we have Cameron West, a senior, and then we have Marcus McMahon, that's a junior, and it's a 3-headed monster. They all run similarly. The best thing is that we're able to rotate them so they're fresh, and that makes a big difference and allows them to play fast and physical, which that's what our expectations are. And not only that is all 3 of them have pass catching abilities, which just causes another issue for our defense. So when I say they're a 3-headed monster, they're a 3-headed monster with similar abilities. So it's a good feeling and it's a good situation to be in.
Well, of course, tonight you're taking on an Amherst team that also enters this game at 3-0. What are some ways do you think they're going to challenge you guys tonight?
Yeah, I think they're going to put the ball in the quarterback's hand, which is their best player, and they're going to try to make explosive plays with them. And we got to contain that quarterback, and we got to bend but not break. And then on offense, we just got to continue to really build upon what steps we've taken in the right direction and run the football, pass the football, and really to take what's open, because that's how our offense rolls. It's not we're a run first, we're a pass first offense. It's where's the green grass? Okay, we're going to take it. And I think that as long as we continue to do that and continue to win the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball against Amherst, we're going to be okay.
Coach Armstrong, we appreciate you giving us a few moments, and we wish you the best of luck against the Amherst Comets later tonight.
Thank you. Go Middies.
Thanks, Coach. Again, that's Midview head coach Jack Armstrong joining us here on our Buckeye Community Bank Coach's Corner today and tomorrow. Your partner for growth, that's Buckeye Community Bank. We'll take a timeout and come back with more after this on the Lorain County Sports Network.
The Stewart's TV and Appliance
Back
pregame
in
show
Grafton.
starts now
Tonight,
on the
two
Lorain County
unbeaten
Sports
teams in the
Network,
SWC
your
will
home
begin
for high school
conference
sports.
play as the Midview
Tune in
Middies
for the
play
Coach's
host
Corner
to the
presented by
Amherst
Buckeye
Comets
Community
here
Bank,
on the
where we
Lorain
speak to
County
the coaches
Sports Network.
and get their
Greetings,
thoughts on the season,
salutations, and welcome
this
in.
game,
Playing
and their
optical
teams
broadcast
moving
booth,
forward.
playing optical,
Don't
see
forget,
the difference.
immediately following
Andy
the last
Woodmarch
play of the
joined
game,
alongside
join
by
us for the
tag team
postgame
partner
scoreboard
Max
show,
Edwin
presented
Brady
by
is our
I-90
director,
Nissan,
and Sam
featuring
Sobel
live
taking
interviews
camera
with
tonight.
players
So
and
after
coaches
educating us
from
on
around Lorain County. You can watch the postgame show live on Facebook at WOBL WDLW Sports. Tonight's games are brought to you by Lang Optical, Stewart's TV and Appliance, Buckeye Community Bank, Mental Health and Addiction Recovery Services of Lorain County, Justin Miller, Esquire, Jamie's Carpet Shop, Lorain County Visitors Bureau, Lorain County Clerk of Courts Tom Orlando, Derek Hammonds of State Farm Insurance, Lorain County Prosecutor J.D. Tomlinson, Vans Auto Repair and Tire Pros, Lorain County Community
Offenses, I don't necessarily know that it affects either one of these teams greatly because they've run the ball so well, and I think you can go one step further. They've defended the run pretty well. Both teams have, so something's got to give in this matchup.
You're absolutely right. They kind of mirror each other, the Comets and the Middies, as they both play that physical style of football, and their head coaches, as you just heard in the Buckeye Community Bank Coaches Corner, they explained and detailed how they've been able to do that, and it's built on a lot of the same principles and values that they have been building their programs with over the past couple seasons now as head coaches.
Yeah, and that's the other interesting angle to this, too. These two programs are not that far removed from really kind of being in the doldrums of the SWC. That's clearly not the case this season. Both head coaches have done a pretty nice job of turning their respective programs around, and you got to think, Max, that the winner of this one, that'll go a long ways in developing a great deal of confidence and showing that they belong in that upper echelon of SWC teams.
That's right. It's one thing to do it out of conference, but once the games feel like they maybe matter a little bit more because now you're all chasing something, it can build some momentum. And it's one of the few matchups this week here in the SWC where it feels like there's, I know it's early, but SWC title implications on the line, or who's going to get that head start here.
There's a lot riding on it. There's no question about that, and clearly people have taken notice to what Midview has done. The AP poll released earlier today showing that Midview is the 8th-ranked team in the state in Division III. Of course, they went down to D3 this year, but look, they're making some heads turn a little bit. We saw this team a couple of weeks ago. That's 10 straight points that they have, I should say 10 straight quarters they've gone without surrendering a point. This defense is for real.
That's right, and they've been able to do it whether weather was an issue last week. They were able to hold up, and the week before against two opponents that attacked them in different ways, and so they've been able to showcase that, and it just comes back to that toughness and the way they what they pride themselves on here at Midview.
Well, let's take a look at our official crew tonight. The referee crew, as always, brought to you by Justin Miller, Esquire, serving your legal needs. That's Justin Miller, Esquire. Officials tonight, referee Jamie Mewany, umpire Raymond Anthony, linesman Michael Mewany, the line judge Joe Harasco, back judge Scott Bruno, and the center judge George Itu. So that's the officiating crew tonight. And now we'll take a look at our team captains, brought to you by Jamie's Carpet Shop. Shopping made simple. That's Jamie's Carpet Shop. The captains for the Midview Middies are Cross Worthy, Cameron West, Mackay Massey, and Nate Schenberger. And the captains for the visiting Amherst Comets are Cole Norris, J.R. Byers, Jeff Reichert, Brady Engel, and Ashton Drago. And with that, I turn things over to my tag team partner for our keys to the game, brought to you by the Mars Board of Lorain County.
Well, and they want to remind you to be there for someone struggling with addiction and mental illness. So we'll start with the hosting Middies, as we have already seen them once before this season. Gives us a little more insight there. And for them, they got to start fast. And I know that's probably a very general statement for a lot of teams, but the key thing here in this game is Amherst has started a little bit slow in these first 3 weeks. They've been able to bounce back and have very strong second halves. But if they can force the Comets into a deficit early, force them to maybe pass or get out of their comfort zone with that running game, it could really benefit them. And then also continue winning the turnover battle. That's something they struggled with last season, but they've been able to keep it relatively clean this year, and that's gone a long way, and it's crucial to their run-dominant style of offense. And then on the other side for Amherst, this coaching staff has trusted them in a lot of situations, whether it's been fourth down, whether it's been leaving it up to Cole Norris, their quarterback, who you'll hear a lot more about as the game goes on. So they are trusting them in remaining bold and aggressive. Also, you got to contain the third phase of the game, often forgotten about, but Midview, very effective at what they do in special teams, whether it's returning or maybe on the punting side of the ball. So you got to make sure you at least contain them and keep them in front of you. And finishing tackles, they had a little bit of trouble with that against their best opponent, Buckeye. So if Amherst can clean that up and rally as a group on these effective Midview running backs, I mean, and you're going to have to because you're going to see a lot of them, then I think that'll go a long way in helping get Midview off the field tonight.
Coin toss went down just a bit earlier, brought to you by the Lorain County Visitors Bureau, celebrating 200 years together. That's the Lorain County Visitors Bureau. Midview won the toss, and they deferred. So it'll be Ethan Morris to kick things off, and we saw his right leg on display a couple of weeks ago. Boy, was that impressive. All right. They did something pretty cool here just a few moments ago. The two marching bands came together for the national anthem, which is brought to you by Lorain County Prosecutor J.D. Tomlinson. Stay safe, Lorain County. A message from Lorain County Prosecutor J.D. Tomlinson. Well, the weather and field conditions we touched on earlier, courtesy of Lorain County Clerk of Courts Tom Orlando, a proud sponsor of high school athletics. And you know what? We don't mind hearing that horn because there's not a whole lot to talk about when it comes to the weather conditions. They're perfect here tonight, Max.
No, just absolutely beautiful. 76 degrees, a little bit of wind, and just sunshine, and probably stay like that until the sun goes down later. And, yeah, like you said, just a perfect September night here, and those field conditions brought to you by the Lorain County Clerk of Courts Tom Orlando, a proud sponsor of high school athletics.
Let's get a quick look at our starting lineups all year long, brought to you by Vans Auto Repair and Tire Pros, your trusted local auto repair and tire shop. That's Vans Auto Repair and Tire Pros. Well, the first offense we'll see tonight will be the Amherst Comets. We'll take a look at that matchup. Wide receiver number 29, Cale Charles, 6 feet, 150-pound sophomore. A wide receiver, number 10, 6'2", 180-pound senior, Tristan Young. Also a wide receiver, number 17, David Duziak, 5'10", 165. Tight end, number 32, Luke Schreiber, a senior, 6'3", 200-pounder. In the backfield, quarterback, Cole Norris, a senior, 6'1", 205. His backfield mate, number 0, J.R. Byers, 5'8", 200-pound senior. The fullback, number 4, Peyton Gillis, a 5'10", 180-pound junior.
Then flipping over to that Midview defense across from them. On the defensive line, we'll see Nathaniel Schenberger at defensive end. A senior, Mackay Massey, will hold down the middle, number 74. And then Sawyer McMillan, a sophomore, wearing number 9. We saw him and mentioned him a few times in the Week 1 win. Then moving up to the linebackers, Tommy Commit, a 5'11 senior, wearing number 31. Wyatt Lehman and Braden Hamoki will hold down the middle and the Middies defense. And then at the other outside linebacker spot, Max Kuchera, another senior there on the defense. And finally in the secondary, Cross Worthy, number 21 at corner. Cameron West and Michael Passarello are both at the safety positions, both just juniors. And then Zachary Wallace, another junior, at the other cornerback position.
And we'll take a look at the Midview offense. Number 17, wide receiver Camden Scott, 6'1", 155, a senior. Another senior, number 8, 6'1", 190, Dior Jones. He had a profound impact on both sides of the ball last time we called a game for Midview. Gage Baraboo and Logan Lane, tight ends. Lane, number 11, 6 feet, 210 senior. Baraboo, 5'8", 150 senior. The quarterback is Shea Williams, number 6, 5'11", 185 junior. Mike Passarello Jr. is the tailback, 6'1", 180-pound junior. Up front, left tackle number 58, Leo Swerinsky, 5'10", 260 junior. The left guard, Ashton Johnson, 6'1", 210, also a senior. The center, a junior, 6 feet, 210, Braden Wiedenmeyer. Right guard, Maxwell Scott, 5'10", 210, he's a senior. And the right tackle, Xavier Young, 6'3", 220, a junior.
And then for the Amherst Comets, they don't start too many on both sides, so these will be a lot of new names up front. They've got Braden Rosebeck at defensive end, Henry Sislow, a senior defensive tackle, Shaddai Cooper, number 8, at another end spot, a senior. And then up at the linebacker spot, Patrick Fellenstein, also Jeff Reichert, and Mason Morales in the middle, Oliver Facchetti at the right outside linebacker spot. And then in the secondary, David Dudziak, the 5'10 junior, Brady Engel, number 5, a senior. And at the other safety spot, Tyler Den, a 5'10 junior wearing 33. And Ashton Draga, the other corner, wearing number 2.
Opening kickoff is sent to the back of the end zone from the right leg of Ethan Norris. Opening kickoff is brought to you by Lorain County Community College. Kick off your future with LCCC, that's Lorain County Community College. So we'll get our first look at this at this Amherst offense. An offense that runs the ball extraordinarily well. They can throw it when they need to. Cole Norris and J.R. Byers pace this offense.
They certainly do, and that read option game is deadly between the two. And I think Norris, he really does a good job of setting it up later in the game.
They run a spread. Cole Norris with a hard snap count will have Byers off his right hip and a 4-wide receiver look. Now we'll switch things up a bit. Byers will move to his left side. He'll take that snap, and they'll hand it off to Byers. Spins out of a tackle initially, falls to the turf at the 25, so a good 5-yard pickup on first down.
Certainly exactly how you want to start this drive. And Schenberger, the read man right there, good job closing down on that and finishing off the run, not allowing it to get any further than 5 yards.
Cole Norris says Amherst back to the line quickly. First snap of each half brought to you by Janasco Insurance. The protection you need, the service you deserve. That's Janasco Insurance. Plenty of time to work with on that play clock. And the ball is fumbled in the backfield. However, Cole Norris is able to jump on it back around the 21-yard line. An issue with the exchange. And it looked like that was one of those RPO plays where he wasn't quite sure if Byers was going to take it from him or if he was just going to pull it. And I think anytime you run into that situation this deep in the field, you're asking for trouble.
Exactly right, and that's one of the dangers of running it. Norris, a very experienced quarterback, and haven't seen him have a turnover since week 1, so definitely not accustomed to that from him.
Third down and long. Norris drops back, looks right, throws right. The pass is knocked away, incomplete. Zach Wallace on the coverage. He was able to deny Tristan Young, and that'll bring up fourth down and long.
Yeah, he gave him a little bit of a cushion off the line there, and he read the play immediately and did a good job keeping that offhand away from the receiver. Sometimes when guys go in to deflect with one hand, they'll put and rest the other one over the receiver, make it look like there's more contact than there is. Great job avoiding that there.
Cole Norris to punt. Mike Passarello back around his own 48-yard line to receive it. A low kick. This will bounce around the 48-yard line of Midview. It'll go inside to the 45-yard line. It'll be down near the 45, maybe the 44. So good field position for the Middies to start their first drive of the night.
They'll definitely take that. And I think Amherst, they're probably just pretty happy that Passarello didn't have a chance to return that at all. Good job avoiding him there, but he gave up a couple extra yards, probably making it an angled punt away from him.
Well, and Coach Thoe mentioned to us during the pregame show, look, special teams is an area where Midview absolutely excels, and we have to be really careful that we don't give Passarello many chances to explode in the return game.
Absolutely right. We see that there.
Shea Williams works out of the shotgun. Passarello off his right side. 4 wide receivers at his disposal. He'll drop back, looks right, throws right, going deep down the field. Dior Jones leaps up and makes the catch along the near sideline before he's shoved out of bounds by Ashton Draga inside the 30, close to the 26-yard line.
Just a wonderful stutter and go there by Jones as there was an underneath route, so the corners and the safeties thought it may have been going there because we don't see Midview pass out the gate that often, so great job catching the Comets by surprise.
They'll get to the line quickly. And Dior Jones was a couple steps ahead of his defender. They'll give this one to Passarello. Nice hole to work with along that right hash. He goes straight up the gut, and they'll mark him down near the 23. It's about a 5-yard gain.
And Shea Williams has shown the ability to be a very dangerous runner. He's up over 130 rushing yards this season, so obviously holding the Comets defensive end there in place for pretty long, giving Passarello a nice gap to run through.
Passarello lined up off the left side of Shea Williams. They'll give this one to Passarello again. Takes it right side, collides with a couple of defenders. He went down close to the 19-yard line. Shadai Cooper, one of the first ones there to stop him. He'll be about a yard shy, setting up third down and short.
Well, Cooper did a great job closing towards the sideline. He was being reached blocked there by Maxwell Scott, who just couldn't seal it fully, and now it leads to a third and short here.
Call this third down and about 1, and we've got some movement up front. Both sides are pointing at each other, and Midview is clapping the loudest here because it's an offsides penalty against Amherst, and that will give the Middies a first down. It'll also put them inside the red zone. Brought to you by Steve Lawson of Russell Real Estate Services. Selling or buying your next home? Visit superstevesells.com.
Well, and once they get into the red zone here, it's really where they can get comfortable with a lot of these running play calls and using a couple different backs.
Shea Williams looking to pass, has some time. He'll step up and try and run this one. He gets to about the 15-yard line. Then he's dragged out along that far side by Mason Morales. We do have a flag, and that came at the very end of the play on the far sideline.
It was good pursuit by Morales that time. We'll see if they get him for something on that, as the closest official had a good view on it.
The early indication is a face mask. Jamie Mewini is our head referee, and he indicates that our suspicion is correct. It's a face mask against Amherst. Half the distance.
So they end up with a positive gain anyway. I know, looking back on film, not only Shea Williams will look back and kick himself for missing one, but Camden Scott was all alone in the back corner of the end zone. But when you face that pressure, it's a lot tougher to see that, that's for sure.
Williams hands it off to Passarello. He breaks one tackle, gets inside the 10, drags two defenders with him inside the 5, and he goes down near the 1. So Passarello almost found his way to pay dirt there, but he was dragged out at the last moment, setting up first and goal.
What a nasty stiff arm. I mean, he just completely lowered his body, took him all the way to the ground, somehow kept his feet, and that's why he's one of the most dangerous running backs on this team, as he's up to heading into this game 115 yards on the season and a capable threat out of the backfield as a receiver.
Shea Williams wants the snap. He gets it. They'll give it to Passarello. He gets hit in the backfield and dropped by Mason Morales. Morales stops him for a loss of a couple on the play.
Well, on that one, it was a great job setting the edge that time. I believe it's going to be the 12 of Reichert there, as he was able to force Williams to hand it off, and the rest of the defense did a great job filling their gaps.
First drive of the game for Midview. It began at their own 45-yard line. It'll be second down and goal from the 5. They'll send a man in motion right. That's the tight end, Logan Lane. Direct snap. Williams trying to take it over the right edge. He gets hit, and he tried to push that pile forward, but he was dropped at the 3-yard line. And that time it was the cornerback, Ashton Draga, who wrapped him up and waited for the rest of the troops to come in and clean that play up.
Yeah, fantastic job there by the senior corner, not hesitating and just putting his nose right into it. As one thing that stood out looking at some of the previous games here is even the secondary, not afraid to show up in the backfield and get some tackles for loss. And right there, it makes it a difficult 3rd and 5 here, or 3rd and goal, I should say, from the 5.
Coming up on the 7th play of this drive. 2 men in the backfield, Marcus McMahon along with Mike Passarello. There with Williams. They give it to McMahon. McMahon tries the middle. He has nowhere to go. They'll mark him down maybe near the 3-yard line. That's a very small pickup, bringing up 4th down. And Max, you get the impression in a game like this, points could be tough to come by.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be at a premium, and the way both of these offenses can run, it can chew up a lot of clock. We're already under 7 minutes to go here, so we'll see if that plays into their decision.
They'll keep the offense on the field. 4th and goal at the 4. They'll bunch wide receivers near the line of scrimmage on both sides. They'll send Dior Jones in motion. They give it to him. Tries to get across the left edge. He breaks one tackle, gets close to the 1-yard line. He stopped short. The Amherst defense holds strong, and they keep the Middies off the scoreboard on their first drive of the game. Despite being pinned back 1st and goal, this is still a scoreless ball game.
Wow, shocker there. You don't see Midview come up empty like that often, especially when they get that close. But Oliver McKitty cleaning up the tackle there, but it was an even greater job of setting the edge there by the other Comet defenders, and that's the key. With Dior Jones, you want to see him out in space as much as possible, forcing him to cut it up there, and it's not his bread and butter going up into the teeth of the defense like that.
Second drive of the contest for Amherst. They went 3 and out on their first, and they will have to run this first play out of their own end zone here. Shotgun snap taken by Norris, takes it straight up the middle. He's got room to run, breaks the tackle, gets to the far sideline. He's off to the races. He's across the midfield stripe. It's a foot race. He goes across the 30. Passarello, the only one with a chance to get him. He won't get there. He is gone for a 98-yard dash to pay dirt. Cole Norris nearly goes the entire distance of the field. A 98-yard touchdown rush. And Amherst fires the first shot, leading 6-0 over Midview with 6:08 to go in the first quarter.
So Norris is absolutely no stranger to racking up big runs, and he had a few in their game 2 weeks ago against Buckeye, especially in that second half. But now he starts the game off with one, immediately putting pressure back on Midview. A lot of speed there, Norris. It's fully on display.
Matty Gates on for the extra point. It's on the way, and it is good. 7-0. Amherst with the early advantage in this one. Just over 6 minutes to play in the first quarter on the Lorain County Sports Network. A 98-yard touchdown rush for Cole Norris has Amherst ahead at 7-0 over Midview with 6:08 to play in the first quarter. That came one play after they were able to stop Midview on 4th down and goal at the 2-yard line. The Middies turned it over on downs, and then Cole Norris provided the fireworks, going down the far sideline and making his way into the end zone to give Amherst the early edge. Jack Coleman handles the kickoffs for Amherst. And he'll kick this one away. High kick, end over end. Passarello comes up to the 15 to retrieve it. He's out past the 25-yard line. He gets past the 30, still on his feet. He's past the 40, finally dragged down at the 44. And look, that was one of the points of emphasis from Amherst head coach Tom Thome. We've got to be really careful in the return game because Midview is so good on special teams that they can flip the field very easily.
They definitely can. And right there, it didn't even come down necessarily to Passarello's great speed. They just had a great set of blockers there, almost in a wedge formation there, leading him up the field. And he was almost moving at half speed, just being very patient, letting those blocks develop.
Nose of the ball resting at the Midview 45-yard line. They had a positive drive their last time out. It just did not result in any points as they went for it on 4th down and goal and came up 2 yards shy. Shea Williams will have Marcus McMahon with him in the backfield. Grabs the snap, looking left, throws left, caught by Dior Jones. Tried to twist his way out of a Duziak tackle, but David Duziak was able to hang with him and limit him to a gain of just 4 yards.
So now they've chosen to start both of their offensive drives going straight to Dior Jones. And that's not something we saw week one with them. We saw them really, first downs were always a run, and now they're kind of changing up, not being as predictable with that. And we'll see if Amherst continues to give them the cushion like they have been to start this game.
2nd down and 6 coming up here for the Middies. McMahon, a key component in this Middies rushing attack. They'll give it to him. He has room up the middle, takes it past the 50 before he's stuck along the left hash, close to the 47 of Amherst. And that'll bring up 3rd down and short.
So obviously to end last drive down near the goal line, they had a little bit of trouble in the short yardage situation. So we'll see what kind of action they choose to go with here with their offensive line and their blocking schemes.
3rd down and short. Shea Williams peering into that near sideline to get the instructions from his coaching staff. Play clock down to 10. He'll grab the snap, looking left, and the pass falls incomplete. He was looking for Dior Jones, but he wasn't expecting to pass.
No, not ready at all, and almost wonder if that may have been an RPO or if Williams was expecting Jones to sit up right at that marker there, but just went a few yards past it.
Offense remains on the field for Midview. 4th down and 2. At the Amherst 47-yard line. They went for it on 4th down and goal earlier, came up 2 yards short. They'll send Logan Lane, the tight end, in motion. High snap. It's recovered, though, and somehow, some way, Williams gets that punt away. Bounces inside the 15-yard line, still going inside the 5. That will go into the end zone for a touchback. That was a heck of a play, Max, just to get that punt off.
Very heads up on that part, and almost wonder maybe if the center was expecting him a few yards back, a little bit more, not as close as he was, but just a great job adapting there to the hand he was dealt. And even though it went into the end zone, you certainly will take this over what could have happened on that one.
Well, there's no doubt, because you still net 27 yards out of that, but at the same time, that snap could have very easily sailed over his head and gone past the 40-yard line, but a nice job and a great effort by Williams to punt that away. Cole Norris and this Amherst offense will operate from the 20-yard line. They'll give to Byers. Byers tries the middle. He's able to weave his way up to about the 23. So a pickup of just a few on first down.
And thanks to the early 3 and out and then the big run by Norris, only 2 carries to go off of for Byers, but this isn't a surprise early on. Hammering away at the front and breaking them down, and then eventually in the second half he's been able to pop a few bigger runs or big chunk plays. So we'll see if that plays out tonight against this tough Midview defense.
Same personnel on the field. Norris sets up for a pass, fires right side, caught by Duziak down the far sideline. He is spun down at the 40, and that'll move the chains for the Comets.
And a lot of the passing success this season for Norris has come from when they've moved the pocket and when he's been in rolling action. But right there, just a straight three-set drop, and he's able to find his man for the first down.
David Duziak is the only consistent two-way player for this Amherst Comets club. Norris takes the direct snap, lots of room to work with up the middle. Wyatt Lehman takes him to the turf at the 50-yard line, an 11-yard scamper, first down again for Amherst.
Well, and after going 98, you figure he's pretty close now officially over that century mark, and we're still here in this first quarter. Norris really showing off his legs so far.
He's got this offense into a rhythm. He'll run it again. He's able to take it straight up the gut, but once again, Wyatt Lehman comes in to clean up that play. So just a 2-yard pickup.
And Lehman there with a good job shutting that down. You're going to have to be able to see it a few times to gain that confidence here, because he is dealing with that option, with that RPO style of play right now.
Second down and 8. Norris looks left, throws left, caught by Cale Charles. Turns the corner left side, and he's dragged down close to the 40-yard line. That'll be awfully close to a first down. And the spot initially leads us to believe he's got it. And the official on the far side says yes he does. Move the chain gang forward 10 yards, first down Amherst.
And Charles, a senior, been in the system for a while now. Came into the game with a catch and already matching that here in this third drive of the game.
They'll give to Byers. Byers, right side, keeps his legs moving, and he's able to push the pile up to the 35. A 5-yard gain on first down. Those are the kinds of plays that really start to add up. 5 yards may not seem by much, but they're consistently getting that here.
That's right, and they're tying out this defense with this tempo.
It's a keeper by Norris. He breaks one tackle, gets to the outside past the 30, off to the races again. Inside the 20, Passarello can't bring him down inside the 5, and he's able to get into the end zone, or did he step out? Now they're saying he stepped out, and it looks like they're going to mark him down at the 1.
Well, that time Midview played it right. Max Kuchera read that, was in the backfield, had him for a loss, but once again, Cole Norris just shows off how talented of a runner he is. And I mean, if he didn't have such a great arm where they had another option, he could easily play running back for this team.
Or now they're saying he got in, or no. Did he or didn't he? It looked like they marked him down at the 1 initially, and there was no definitive signal. Now they're lining up for an extra point.
Guess he was able to tiptoe on that one, and yeah, great job. Tightrope in the sideline there.
So a 35-yard touchdown rush by Cole Norris. Extra point for Matty Gates is up and good. 14-0. Amherst leads Midview. 2:38 to play here in the first quarter on the Lorain County Sports Network. Cole Norris putting on a show here tonight. A 98-yard touchdown rush, and moments ago he takes it in from 35 yards out to give Amherst a 14-0 advantage over the Midview Middies. Week 4 of the high school football season, the SWC opener. 2 of the unbeatens in Lorain County squaring off here tonight in Grafton. Jack Coleman with a squib kick. Down the hash it goes. It's recovered right around the 30-yard line, and it's taken up to about the 41 by Sawyer McMillan, a sophomore that really stood out in the game we called a few weeks ago when they took down Westlake.
Yeah, and that was mainly on the defensive side of the ball right there, showing he's not afraid to handle the ball on the special teams unit, and sets them up now for the 3rd time at the 40-yard line or better to start a drive. And so far Midview hasn't been able to take full advantage of it yet, and we'll see if they can change that here.
Seems like the tide's definitely turned when Amherst denied Midview on 4th down and goal, stopping them at the 2-yard line. Shea Williams drops back to pass, setting up a screen. Throws it to McMahon. McMahon gets past the 40, spins away from one tackle, and it takes a couple of Comets to take him down right around the 48-yard line. Mason Morales was able to corral him, but not before he picked up 8 yards.
And with a lot of the pressure they're applying in the run game by the Comets, Midview right now just looking for any way to get their playmakers the ball. We've seen it in a couple different ways, and they're going to probably have to keep changing it up like this to have any success.
2nd and 2 at their own 48-yard line. Shea Williams will drop back to pass again. Facing some pressure, steps up, shovel pass ahead to McMahon. McMahon stumbles forward, and the official on the far side will mark him down a little bit short. He's just inside that 50-yard line, and they'll be 3rd down and less than a yard to go here.
Once again, we have a 3rd or a 4th inch short situation for the Middies, and they haven't been able to solve this question yet. So we'll see if they've got something in store here. And I might mention Dior Jones has a 10-yard cushion at the moment.
3rd down and short. Williams takes the snap. They'll give to McMahon. McMahon able to plunge his way forward inside of Amherst territory to the Comets 48 for a 1st down.
Well, Mason Morales, he was holding up the fist for 4th down, but he wasn't able to finish off that tackle. And McMahon, such a physical runner, standing at 5'7", 165, very stocky in there at the running back position.
You talked about it when the drive began. They've had terrific field position throughout the night. This their 3rd drive of the contest. 1st and 10 from the Amherst 48. Shea Williams will drop back again. Throws to his left, caught by Dior Jones along that far sideline. Tries to make a couple of men miss, but he is hit immediately. Jeff Reichert was able to stop him around the 42-yard line.
And a good quick release on that throw there by Williams, and that just helps out this offensive line deal with what may be an undersized Comets front, but as Coach Thome explained in the pregame, they're very athletic and they're very quick, especially when they like to make some moves or some stunts up there.
That was very evident in their win over North Olmsted last week, especially in sloppy conditions. Williams looks right, throws right, caught by Cross-Worthy along the right hash. Ashton Draga will take him to the turf at the 32-yard line. Midview moves the sticks again.
So now they're finding success in this quick hitting passing game, just a lot of hitches, a lot of short routes. And we'll see if Amherst chooses to adjust and bring their corners and defensive backs closer to these receivers off the ball.
We'll have to wait and see if they make that adjustment in quarter number 2. At the end of 1, Amherst 14, Midview nothing on the Lorain County Sports Network. picking up the action here at the beginning of the second quarter. The opening stanza belonged to the Amherst Comets, who have a 14-0 lead. Max, thanks due in part to the legs of Cole Norris, who's put on a show so far tonight.
Yeah, he's shown that dual threat ability all season, and that hasn't changed at all jumping into conference play here. As last season, he accounted for 17 total touchdowns, and he's getting very close to matching that once again. As with those two scores, he's up to 13 total already here in just 3 games and a quarter.
Marcus McMahon, the tailback of the formation here. Shea Williams operating out of the shotgun as he has all night long. He'll fire right, caught by Dior Jones in the flat. He evades one defender, then he gets dragged down to the backfield, back at the 38. Duziak took him down, and he was trying to make something happen there, but this Amherst defense just swarms after you.
That's right. They're rallying to the ball extremely well, and they had them outnumbered on that short side of the field. So interesting to see them. I understand you want to get Jones the ball as many times as you can, but right there in that formation, that setup, he was kind of doomed from the get-go to either just be stuck at the line or, in that case, behind it.
Second down and long here. Williams drops back. He's being pressured, steps up, he lost the ball. It's on the turf of the 42-yard line. Bodies are scrambling for it. Looked like Shadai Cooper came away with it for Amherst, but the officials are trying to sort through all of this. And it was indeed recovered by Shadai Cooper. That's the first turnover of the night. Amherst with a big one, taking over at their own 42.
Well, Cooper recovered it. He obviously set the left edge side, but then over on the other side, Braden Rosebeck did a great job adjusting to the junior Williams stepping up in the pocket and just collapsing the pocket, and right there gives the ball back to what's been a very dominant offense to open this game.
A chance here to add to this 14-0 lead with 11:14 to play here in the second quarter. They've marked the ball at the 41-yard line of Amherst. They'll give it to Byers. Byers tries the left side, not much happening there. They'll mark him down at the 42. And that time, Sawyer McMillan, sophomore, was in on the stop.
And the thing is, we've seen this Midview defense play from behind before. It's been a little while. Week 1 obviously feels like a long time ago, but they started out that game with their offense giving up a fumble, scoop and score as the first points of the night. So even though they pitched a shutout the last 2 weeks, they're not a stranger to being in tough situations like this.
Makai Massey came out a few moments ago. David Lovelace trotted out of the field to take his place. Second down and 9 for Amherst. They'll give it to Byers again. He's able to get up to the 45 before he is stood up and dropped. A number of different middies in on that stop. Tommy Commit came in at the end of that play to close out. And it'll be 3rd down and 6.
And now Massey re-enters the game. Interesting spot for him to come back with this 3rd and 6 looming. We'll see if Midview attempts to rattle Norris here with some pressure or how they choose to attack. I mean, it's a 4-receiver set, so it's going to be a lot tougher to do.
They're showing blitz. It's picked up by Byers. He throws left side, has a man open along that far sideline. It's Brady Engel who makes the catch and tiptoes out of bounds at the 48. And for now, that's a first down, although we do have a flag back at the 41-yard line. It looks like this one's coming back. It's a hold against Amherst. That negates what would have been about a 7-yard pickup to move the sticks. But they'll have to do 3rd down over again.
So from the Comets' point of view there, they do love going to those out routes, and they're very effective because these receivers are very aware of where these chains are set up. That's not always a given at this high school level, but Wyatt Lehman, one of those blitzers from Midview, did a great job drawing that hold with the extreme pressure he's putting on Norris.
Much different scenario here as it's now 3rd down and 16. Norris rolling out near side right, facing pressure, he gets drilled. Max Kuchera sacks him back at the 28-yard line. He put a big licking on him for a huge loss, and Amherst will have to punt.
Ooh, and that's one of those ones where you're rolling away from that side. You think you can leave the man unblocked, but Kuchera showing off that speed, and he closed out, and great job by the Midview defense getting off the field here in a very difficult spot.
Yeah, boy, did they need that. Passarello back at his own 38-yard line. Cole Norris ready to punt this away, takes the low snap, gets a line drive kick away. Passarello lets it bounce once, and now he's going to back away as this goes all the way inside the 15-yard line, and Amherst will down it at the Midview 11. A real nice punt. by Norris, not only to keep that away from Passarello, but also to pin Midview deep.
That's right, and now this is going to be the toughest starting field position that the Middies have seen all night, and we'll see if they're able to put together a few more plays at a time here. They're doing a nice job. It's just not been consistently for the length of the field, and the one time that did happen, well, they were shut down inside the 5. So going to be interesting to see who else they choose to implement. We've been seeing a steady diet so far tonight of either Michael Passarello or Marcus McMahon.
And this time Passarello will be in the backfield along with Shea Williams. It was McMahon the last couple of drives. On that first drive, they were able to go down the field, but just kind of ran out of steam inside the 5-yard line. Williams will take the snap. It'll be a keeper. Takes it off the left edge. He's got room to run. He's able to get past the 10 to the 15-yard line. Dragged down by Brady Engel at the end of the play. 3 flags come flying in as he was dragged down out of bounds by Engel. That was already a pretty big pickup. It's a personal foul, horse collar against Amherst.
Well, right there, Williams in his element when he has the ball in his hands like that. He could just be an athlete and make things happen as he bounces. That's designed to go right up the middle, right through one of the A-gaps, but it was a great pressure by Shadai Cooper closing in, and he just bounces that one outside. And as you mentioned, the penalty, they needed that to get out of that tricky situation.
Penalty and the pickup altogether nets him about 21 yards. Wallace will drop back. Pressure coming. Lobs this one deep down the left side. Caught by Dior Jones in traffic before he's escorted out of bounds by Ashton Draga inside the 35. What a catch by Dior Jones.
Quite literally flips the field. They go from their own 33 to the other 34. And he just did a great job reading that in the air. Williams puts it in a spot where only he can get it. What a job by this offense that still showing success. We'll see if they can finish it off here.
Clear to see that they like a matchup with Dior Jones. They have called his number a lot here tonight. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. There was early movement on the left side of that Amherst defensive front, and that's going to cost the Comets 5. At least it appears that way for now. It is indeed offsides, making it 1st and 5.
Well, it's a good job there. That's another time that they've been able to force the Comets to jump offsides, get a free 5 yards. And Dior Jones, like you said, being a big priority tonight. 5 catches already for the senior receiver.
Shea Williams looking to his right, throws to his right, and it's hauled in by Cross-Worthy at the 25, maybe the 24. The initial spot leads us to believe he's got a first down, and the officials say, yes, he's got it. 1st and 10 for the Middies.
Man, those short routes, those quick hitting routes are still there for them in Midview. It's a situation where they're just taking what that Comets defense is giving them, and it's paid off from the 40 to the 40, and then when they get in these spots here, that's when it's broken down a little bit.
1st and 10 at the 24-yard line. It'll be a keeper. Williams takes it up the middle, drags a few defenders with him inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. 6-yard pickup, bringing up 2nd and 4.
Well, he's certainly been responsible for opening up some of these plays in the passing game, as you always have to worry about him in those RPOs, just keeping it. And I got to imagine he's going to continue to be a part of the game plan here in the red zone.
They'll call it 2nd and 5 with the ball at the 19-yard line. They'll hand it off to Passarello, trying to turn the corner left side. He's able to get inside the 15, and he's wrestled to the turf at the 10-yard line. Shadai Cooper caught up to him and brought him down, but it's another first down for Midview.
Right there is a good job on the perimeter by someone who's not as often targeted in the passing game, but Braden Hamoki, great job on the outside there, sealing one of the outside linebackers and giving Passarello a lane to run right off of.
They actually marked him down shy of the 10 at the 11, so they can't pick up another first down before getting into the end zone, but now we've got a whistle. And a timeout has been called by Amherst. Timeouts all night long brought to you by Lorain County Recorder Mike Duran. Securing and organizing real estate documents, that's Lorain County Recorder Mike Duran. We'll take a quick timeout as well on the Lorain County Sports Network. First and goal coming up for the Midview Middies with the ball at the 11-yard line of the Amherst Comets, who burned their first time out of the half just a few moments ago. This drive for Midview began back at their own 11-yard line. Coming up on just the 6th play of this drive, they have moved the ball very, very quickly. Shea Williams will have Mike Passarello off his left hip. He'll grab the snap. It comes back to him awkwardly. Still able to turn the corner left side. He's bumped out of bounds on the near sideline by Mason Morales. He went out near the 5. And there is some laundry. And that was thrown as soon as that play ended.
Well, it was followed by a large crowd of Comets and Middies huddling around where it was thrown. Both sides seemingly trying to figure it out.
So this is going against the Midview Middies. That's a costly one because that would have set them up 2nd and 3, right around the 4. But they'll put the ball back around the 15-yard line. Again, that one's tough for Midview to swallow because without the penalty, they still would have picked up positive yardage.
And now behind the chains here, and like you mentioned before the break, we went on they're still trying to gain a first down possibly. You could still possibly gain a first down. Now it becomes much harder to do that and reach the end zone.
Dior Jones goes in motion to the right. Williams throws right side. The pass is caught by Cameron West. Tried to spin his way out of a tackle at the 10-yard line, but he was stood up, and a host of Comets brought him down. And they'll put him down inside the 10, and looks like they'll put that down at the 9.
Well, that's a good job just kind of getting half of that back, getting the penalty yardage back at least. Now, on those snaps, it appears, I don't know if it's in design by the center to move the ball to the side that Williams plans to roll, but they got to be careful there. That could be perceived as a false start, which you very rarely see on the quarterback, but we'll see if that continues to play out here.
So it's 2nd down and 8 with the ball at the 9-yard line. Williams with 4 receivers at his disposal. Drops back to pass. He's going to step up. He's going to try and run. Gets to the 5-yard line where he's spun down. Picks up just a couple, but it's a manageable scenario here where it's 3rd down and just about 4.
And he's definitely one of the best quarterbacks this season that we've seen who does that. He realizes when the passing play it's reached its potential or its capacity, if you will. If nobody's open, he's always willing to take off and get what he can, and showing it off there. And now it's 3rd and short.
3rd down and 4. Coming up on the 8th play of this drive. 2nd time tonight Midview's been inside the Amherst 10-yard line. Logan Lane, the tight end, in motion to the right. Williams takes the snap. They'll give to Passarello, and that defensive front was not fooled. Amherst able to sniff that play out and stop it dead in its tracks. They'll mark Passarello down right around the 8-yard line.
Cooper and Fakiti right there, just blowing it up in the backfield. Nowhere to go, nowhere to react. And now it looks like we will see the Middies choose to take their points here.
Ethan Morris, 7 for 8 in point after attempts, 2 for 4 in field goals this year. This will be about a 26-yard attempt from the right hash. They'll send the snap back. The hold goes down. Kick is on the way. Plenty of distance. And the horn tells the rest of the story. It is good. 14-3. Amherst leads Midview with 4:54 to play in the 2nd quarter on the Lorain County Sports Network. A drive that began at Midview's 11-yard line. They were able to get inside Amherst's 10-yard line for the 2nd time tonight, but they were kept out of the end zone. They settled for 3 this time, and they trail Amherst 14-3 with just inside of 5 minutes to play. Glad to have you with us tonight on the Lorain County Sports Network. Andy Bulbarch and Max Drummond on the call. Edwin Vereen, our director. Sam Sovacool working the camera tonight. The Four Horsemen back in Grafton for the second time this year. Ethan Morris will kick this away. High kick, end over end. Duziak retrieves it right around the 2. He's out past the 15-yard line, a big seam. He gets inside the 30, trying to cut it up the middle of the field, and he was drilled at the 36. He was knocked down by the kicker, Ethan Morris, at the end of the play.
Well, Morris, in theory, did a great job. A lot of hang time on that kick, which you think buys your guys time to get down there, but just great job by the Amherst blockers, and the lane was able to open up momentarily, but kicker took care of business himself at the end there for sure.
Feels like it's been a while since we last saw this Amherst offense. It's been almost 5 minutes of game time. Cole Norris will have J.R. Byers off his right side and 4 receivers at his disposal. Play clock inside of 10 now for Norris. Grabs the snap, he'll keep it himself. Room to run up the middle, gets past the 40-yard line, and a few different middies will knock him down. Braden Hamoki came in at the end of the play to finish that at the 43.
Well, that whole play made possible by the pulling guard, Jordan Hatfield. Great job getting out in front and taking on the lead defensive end on that side of the ball. And this Comets offensive line, relatively new, but these first 3 games, they've gotten a lot of experience, and it's showing here tonight.
Norris, a keeper again. He's out past the 45, close to the 47. That should be enough to move the sticks. And we should note there that they're doing a nice job offensively tonight without one of their key cogs up there. Our injury update report brought to you by Derek Hammonds of State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. That's Derek Hammonds of State Farm Insurance. Eli Solak, who's been a big part of what they do offensively, out with an arm injury. We saw him in a sling out there before the game began. And again, they're moving the ball down the field. They've scored twice without his services.
He's certainly a big loss. Has a touchdown catch this year and very effective in that run blocking down the field on linebackers and safeties.
They'll give to Byers. Room to run up the middle again. He stops right around the 50-yard line. Sawyer McMillan able to get his paws on him and drop him. But he still picked up a few on that, setting up second down.
Well, and even without, if you take out the big 98-yard touchdown run by Norris, they've still been doing a good job getting around 3 to 4 yards a carry on offense here this evening.
2 huge plays. The 98-yarder, which Max just mentioned, and a 35-yard dash to pay dirt from Cole Norris. Norris lost the ball in the backfield, picks it back up at the 45-yard line, and he's taken down near the 47. Marcus McMahon with the stop for a loss of just a few.
And that's only his second negative run of the night. And the other one, like that, came on a fumbled exchange or a fumbled snap. So the only time they've really been hurt is by doing it to themselves.
Nose of the ball resting at the 48. They'll run this play from the right hash. It's 3rd down and 9 for Amherst. Same personnel on the field. Luke Schreiber in motion, far side of the left. He'll drop back. Norris, pump fake, fires this one down the field, looking for Tristan Young. The pass falls incomplete. There's a flag at the very end of the play. Zach Wallace was on the coverage. And there was some sparring there between Young and Wallace.
Well, so they saw Midview have some great success with the stop and go route in the opening drive, and now they try one of their own, and even though they don't connect, they it certainly caused a tie up there around halfway down the field.
It's pass interference against Midview, a costly penalty for sure, because that keeps this drive alive and also moves the ball inside Midview territory.
Yeah, and we're now under 3 minutes to go. If you get a stop there, you got plenty of time for your offense to work with. Now Amherst, they're more than happy to take their time to close out the half.
Give will go to Byers. Room to run up the middle. Spun off the pile initially before he was dragged down by Dior Jones at the 33.
And Jones, who they started using on this drive, now has to exit the game. So they lose a key pass rusher there. But with the way Amherst is running the ball, they may elect to not go that route. They just keep giving it to Byers or Cole Norris here.
Norris runs it again. Off the right edge. Makes his way toward the sideline. He's knocked out of bounds, and a flag is laying on the turf. It was initially at the 34. Now it's been placed at the 32. That's in the area where you normally see holding. It is a hold. Our head referee, Jamie Mewini, confirms our suspicion. And that'll move the ball back to the 42.
Now we'll see how Amherst chooses to respond here in this situation. Last time we saw them as 2nd and long. They opted to try to go to the air, and we'll see if they attempt to do that once again here. Or the way they've been spreading out this defense, which ironically they're not doing here, but it's left open a lot of run lanes.
Approaching the 2-minute mark here in the second quarter. Norris will run it again. Tries to take it up the middle. Mackay Massey slowed him down, and the big fella will take him to the turf back at the 47-yard line. Nowhere for him to go. The nose tackle, one of the captains on this Middies defense, denied him. And now we've got whistles and a timeout called by the Middies. Let's take this timeout as well. 1:49 to go, second quarter. Amherst 14, Midview 3 on the Lorain County Sports Network. Coming out of that Midview timeout, it'll be 3rd down and long for Amherst. They are at the Midview 43-yard line. It's 3rd down and 15. Mackay Massey with the tackle for loss just a few minutes ago. Forward progress puts that ball around the 42.
In these situations, Midview's been able to step up recently. We'll see if they got another stop in them here on 3rd and long.
Cole Norris, dual threat quarterback, back to pass, facing pressure, fires right side. The pass is almost hauled in at the 26-yard line. He was looking for David Duziak, and there is a flag at the 41. And the way Amherst is responding, it looks like that's going against Amherst. It's a hold against the Comets, and that'll be declined, bringing up 4th down and long.
And a good job there. Dior Jones getting in there past not only the tackle, but the running back as well. And he forced a quick throw. Obviously, Duziak wasn't turned around yet. Almost led to an interception, too.
Big shift in personnel as Amherst prepares to punt this one away. Clock is stopped with $1:43 to go. They wanted to reset the play clock. That's what the whistles were all about. Passarello back at his own 10-yard line. Norris will grab the snap and get this punt off. High kick, spiraling. It'll bounce inside the 10, takes a nice Midview bounce as it goes backwards, and then it hit the turf and started to roll back toward the 10-yard line. Looked like a heck of an approach shot. Wish I could get my golf balls to spin like that.
I was going to say I'd take that out on the course any day of the week. But yeah, great job off the leg of Norris there. So he's been able to be impactful in both special teams and on offense, and gives this Midview offense another full field to work with as they start the last drive at the 11, now at the 10, with even less time to work with.
In that last drive, they had the ball for about 4.5 minutes. Clearly, as you mentioned, they don't have that same luxury here. They're going to have to move a little bit faster.
Well, tonight we've seen them a little bit more comfortable throwing the football, as Shea Williams, 10 of 11 on the evening so far when he drops back to pass.
Keep in mind, coming into tonight's game, he was 14 for 27 on the season for 158 yards. There is some sort of an issue as our head referee, Jamie Mewini, is talking with the coaches on the Midview sideline. Not exactly sure what the confusion is all about here. And it looks like there's an issue with the clock. So they want to adjust the clock, which right now reads $1:43. They want 1:28. left on the clock. So they're going to take 15 seconds off. Shea Williams looks right, throws right, pass is caught by Cam West. He's able to get up to about the 22-yard line, and that's close to a first down. Looks like he's got it from here. He does.
And West has been a little bit quiet tonight, just his second target, but we'll see if he gets his workload increased here on this final 2-minute drill.
Same personnel on the field. This is a 5-wide look. Williams throws left side. The pass is knocked away, incomplete. He was looking for Passarello, but Brady Engel and Ashton Draga were both in on the coverage, setting up 2nd and 10.
I mean, and that's a tough throw to begin with, going up for a 50-50 ball like that. But junior safety Tyler Den, who Coach Thome raved about in the pregame interview, was also underneath of that, so he had to fit that into a very tight window.
Midview does have a couple of timeouts to work with. They're trailing 14-3 with 1:12 to play in the second quarter. 2nd and 10 at their own 22-yard line. Williams fires left side. The pass scoots its way toward Dior Jones, but he skipped it there in a hop, incomplete. And that's got to be a little frustrating for Williams because Jones had some room to work with.
Yeah, and that's one where he did a good job getting the ball out before Jones had even made his cut, but that meant Dior Jones had barely any time to react and gain some ground back towards him on what is a very long throw.
And now you're staring down the barrel of 3rd down and 10. 1:08 to play, second quarter. Midview trailing 14-3. Williams looking down the field, throws right side. The pass is caught at the 36 for a first down. He was able to get it to Camden Scott, and that'll move the chains again.
Beautiful pocket by the offensive line that time, and a lot of double teams being pulled off very successfully, giving Williams the perfect amount of time.
Williams takes a high shotgun snap. Throws this one down the left side. Ashton Draga almost came away with the interception. They had 2 targets in the area. He had Dior Jones and he had Cam West, but that pass had just a bit too much on it.
And that's where these cushions are coming into play for the advantage of the Comets. Obviously, they giving those underneath routes and those short hitches, but over the top going to be a lot tougher to pull those off here for Williams in this offense.
We have an official's timeout. Looks like there's something wrong with the chain on the other side of the field. That gives us a chance to tell you that coming up at the half, we have the Jeff Allison of Health Markets Insurance halftime show. Uninsured? Enroll today with Health Markets Insurance in Amherst. This is a big drive, Max. I mean, there's not a whole lot of time to work with, just 48 seconds. They do have a couple of timeouts to work with. Even if you get 3 here, you can knock this down to a 1-possession game and you get the ball to start the second half. So this is a pretty meaningful drive for Midview.
You're absolutely right. And they know going into halftime here, they've had a couple of missed opportunities. But going back to week 1 when they played Westlake, we've seen that this kicking game has a lot of potential and that you don't have to get all the way inside the 20 for them to consider going for 3 here. And like you said, that's going to be very crucial considering they get the ball to open the second half.
I mean, this first half certainly hasn't gone their way, but it certainly could be a lot worse for them. There's no doubt about that. Empty backfield, 5-wide look again for Williams. Amherst rushing 4. Williams throws right side, caught by West around that right hash area, and then he is stopped immediately close to the 45-yard line. And the clock will stop with 39 seconds left in the second quarter as timeout is called by Midview head coach Jack Armstrong. We'll go ahead and keep this one here. It's got to be at least a little bit of a surprise to many to see Midview put the ball in the air as often as they have.
Yeah, we're very accustomed to them using all 3 options at running back. And tonight, the combination of Passarello as well as McMahon has combined for just 8 carries so far. And obviously trailing has a little bit to do with that. But even on these sustained drives that they've come up empty on, they haven't been as big of the game plan as you maybe would expect, especially based on what we've seen earlier this season.
Coming up during the halftime show, we'll take a look at the stats from the opening half. We'll also rate the dog, and we'll take a look at other scores across the area. Again, all that and much more coming your way on the Jeff Allison of Health Markets Insurance halftime show. Amherst leading 14-3 on the strength of 2 big touchdown rushes from Cole Norris. One 98 yards, the other from 35 yards out. Midview with one last timeout to work with. It's 3rd down and short here. It's 3rd and 2 with the ball at their own 45-yard line. Shea Williams working with 5 receivers. It's a keeper. Takes it left side, stretches the play to the near sideline, steps out of a tackle, gets past the 45, and steps out of bounds at the 49. He'll pick up 4 to extend the drive.
And it was a tough 4 yards to come by. Probably ran for about 20 there at least. But good awareness knowing you have to get that first down to even keep this drive going before you can even think about getting in field goal range. Good awareness there by the junior quarterback.
Stop the clock as well. That play did take some time off the clock. We're looking at 32 ticks left on this second quarter clock. Williams takes a high snap, has some time, throws left side. The pass is caught. Camden Scott goes out of bounds near the 45 of Amherst.
So they'll give him 5 there, and very good job tight roping that sideline on the route and then getting both feet down. Obviously, you want big chunk plays here if you're the the Midview crowd, but you got to take what you can get at this point.
Back to pass. Williams fires right side, caught by Jones, steps out of a tackle, gets past the 45, he gets into open space to the 30, gets to the 20, off to the races, 10, 5, into the end zone, touchdown Middies! A 46-yard touchdown pass from Shea Williams to Dior Jones. They've been calling his number all night long, and finally it pays off with a big trip to the end zone.
That's catch number 6 of the night. I mean, just a great job. You think he's bottled up multiple times there, and he just keeps cutting, and then eventually found that lane from right hash to left and down the sideline. What a game-changing play there by Dior Jones.
That makes it 14-9 with 10 seconds left on the second quarter clock. And they'll trot Ethan Morris out there to kick the field goal. I mean, that totally changes this game. We mentioned they wanted points, knowing they had a long ways to go, just a couple of timeouts to work with. Snap goes back. Morris's extra point is up and good. It was 14-0 in favor of Amherst with 2:38 to play in the first quarter. This second quarter has totally belonged to Midview.
It has, and they've been a very resilient group tonight. It started on the defensive side of the ball, getting a few key stops. And the offense, obviously, they were able to finish off one drive with a field goal. And right there, we talk about them being methodical, taking their checkdowns, and they turned one of those short passes into a phenomenal play. And that's why when you have great athletes like this, you just got to do whatever you can to get the ball in their hands. And they did a great job, the Middies offensive staff, scheming that up there for Jones.
And as you mentioned, it looked like they had him bottled up at the 45-yard line. Somehow he escaped that tackle. And the second he got to about the 35, you knew he had a chance to go the distance because nobody else in the field really had much of a chance to catch up to him.
No, there might have been a couple Comets within a few yards of him, but he's got separation speed. And he put it fully on display there on our camera.
Ethan Morris will tee it up at the 40-yard line, ready to kick it back to Amherst. This is a nice end-over-end kick that'll push Duziak back into his own end zone to retrieve it. It's a touchback, and I don't imagine you'll see anything too crazy from Amherst here.
It's too bad. We've had some fireworks tonight. We know Cole Norris is capable of taking one from this part of the field, but you got to imagine Midview will not do anything to commit too many guys up in the box here.
And look, the momentum now belongs on the other side. With only 10 seconds, a long ways to go, couple of timeouts to work with, sure, one timeout to work with, sure. It's just not a chance probably worth taking at this point. But,
right,
like you said, Norris did run one in from 98 yards out before. He'll operate out of the shotgun. He'll run it himself. He's able to get past the 22 to maybe the 23-yard line before Tommy Commit brought him down. And that'll take the final few seconds off the second quarter clock. We have reached halftime here at Midview. Well, things didn't look so good for the home team at the end of one when they were trailing 14-0. However, Midview has battled back to score 10 unanswered here in the second quarter. 14-10, Midview leading Amherst halfway through this one. Let's step aside and take a timeout. When we come back, we will launch right into our Jeff Allison of Health Markets Insurance halftime show. We will rate the dog, courtesy of Brian Victor of Howard Hannum. We'll take a look at some first half stats, a scoring recap, and also see what's happening at other high school football stadiums in and around the county as well. It's the Game of the Week on YouTube on the Lorain County Sports Network. enjoying the sounds of the Amherst Marching Band. It is halftime here at Midview, where the Middies trail Amherst 14-10. This is the Jeff Allison of Health Markets Insurance halftime show. Uninsured, enroll today with Health Markets Insurance in Amherst. Andy Bolbarch joined alongside Max Drummond. The captain of our ship is our director, Edwin Barine, and Sam Sovacool. Not just working the camera, he also raced down to the concession stands to get us the hot dogs for our Rate the Dog segment. Let's lead off with that. Rate the Dog is brought to you by Brian Victor of Howard Hanna. Brian says, enjoy the game, and in our case, enjoy the game and the dogs. Second trip to Midview. First one was absolutely fantastic. It was the opener for all of us. We were very excited about it, and there's nothing to be disappointed about here. Another solid dog, and I'll tell you what, I think this is certainly in the 4-point area once again. I would go somewhere in the area of 4 or 5. What do you think?
Yeah, I think last time we were at that 3.94 average between us. Right now, I gotta agree. I think I'm gonna go 4.2, so I'll break that 4, and yeah, no drop off whatsoever.
Great stuff. I think we're all in agreement. Outstanding job once again by Sam running down there and grabbing those. We appreciate those at the Midview concession stand supplying us with the dogs for our Rate the Dog segment, brought to you by Brian Victor of Howard Hanna. Brian says, enjoy the game. Well, we've been entertained to this point. You know, things looked a bit shaky for Midview early on in this one. They were down 14-0. They were denied, even though they were inside the Amherst 5-yard line. Looked like they were poised to score. They turned it over on downs, and the very next play, Cole Norris, a 98-yard dash to pay dirt, made it 7-0 Amherst. They would force Midview to punt on their very next drive. They went 3-and-out, and then it took just 7 plays after that. They took over at their own 20-yard line, and Cole Norris went to work again. This time a 35-yard touchdown scramble to make it 14-0 Comets. However, as we got into the second quarter, things definitely changed. Ethan Morris would get Midview on the board on a 26-yard field goal to make it 14-3, and then we saw some fireworks at the end of the half with 10 seconds remaining in the second quarter. A 46-yard touchdown strike from Shea Williams to Dior Jones on a play where it looked like they had Jones dead to rights of the line of scrimmage. He somehow escaped, got into open space, and totally changed the complexion of this game. It's now 14-10. Amherst only, I should say Midview only down 4, but they'll get the ball to begin the second half.
Yeah, certainly just very exciting for both sides here, as they found a lot of things to cheer about and to improve on and to work on heading into this second half. I think that's what's so great. We've got such an incredible first half, but that's even still with a few mistakes sprinkled in there. And you know both of these coaches are very solid at halftime adjustments.
No doubt about that. Well, let's take a look at our stats brought to you by Alan Januzzi CPA, because it's all about the numbers. That's Al Januzzi CPA. Max, what stands out when you look at those stats?
Well, those numbers, they're a little different than at least I was expecting heading into this matchup. As Midview, as we touched on near the end of the half, their passing attack has been very potent, even before the Dior Jones long catch and run to close out the second quarter. Coming into this game, they were averaging 171 57 per contest. And tonight, they're already at 182 receiving yards as a group. Dior Jones leading the way on that with 113 receiving yards on 6 receptions. And then the running attack, which we got to see firsthand week 1 be very effective. They've got Passarello with 21 yards, and they've also got Shea Williams with 21 yards rushing. So not as balanced as we expected, but they did have to play a good portion of that first half trailing. And then on the other side, you really got to point to the job that the senior quarterback for the Comets, Cole Norris, has done. 10 carries, 145 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then just a couple of pass completions, one of them, the bigger one's going to Duziak for 1 catch, 17 yards. So as great as both sides have been hitting the big play, I can't imagine that it will be sustainable for whoever goes on to win this game.
Not a total surprise, though, either, too, right? Because we looked at this game thinking that it could be a defensive struggle because both defenses have been so good. Both teams have run the ball so exceptionally well over the first 3 games of the season. There have been some surprises in this game, no doubt about it, but the numbers don't lie. And it was interesting to hear you go through those numbers. I don't think anybody expected Shea Williams to put the ball in the air as often as he has tonight. And you could argue they picked up some steam with that passing game, especially on that last drive. You got to imagine he's a lot more confident now.
Yeah, he was really efficient, and he was getting the ball out quickly. Now, obviously, that Amherst front is very quick, but his offensive line gave him all the time he needed to work with there. And even when it's not been there down the field, he's taken off. He's taken what the defense has given him. That not as much of an option there on the 2-minute drill, but he didn't really need it there. And he's spreading the ball out, too. Obviously, mentioned Dior Jones leading the way, but 3 other receivers with 2 or more catches on the night so far. So he's finding a couple different guys to work with as well.
He certainly is. And look, this should be a lot of fun down the stretch here in the second half. Midview will get the ball to begin the second half of action, but we're still a little ways away from that as we're inside of 8 minutes left on this halftime clock. Let's step aside and take another timeout. When we come back, we'll take a look at some other scores from across the area and then get you set for the second half kickoff between Midview and Amherst right now at the half. Amherst 14, Midview 10 on the Lorain County Sports Network. Halfway through this one at Midview, 14-10. Amherst on top of the Middies. This is the halftime show brought to you by Jeff Allison of Health Markets Insurance. Uninsured, enroll today with Health Markets Insurance in Amherst. Andy Bulbarch, Max Drummond with you. Edwin Marine, our director, Sam Sovacool on the camera. We promised you halftime scores. Let's take a look at what's going on in other ballparks all across the county. Well, in the SWC, Berea Mid-Park leads Avon Lake 21-14. North Ridgeville involved in a good one against Olmsted Falls. They're tied at 10. And Avon having their way with Elyria 42-0. The Eagles on top of the Pioneers. Taking a look at the Lorain County League, Brookside up big on Oberlin 30-0. Columbia ahead of Firelands 14-13 and a tight one down in Columbia. Black River and Wellington are tied at 7 at the half. Elyria Catholic with a 9-6 lead on Vermilion. EC looking for their first win of the season. And Akron Firestone leads Lorain 7-6. So that's what's going on at other stadiums across the county. And Max, we figured that this would be a pretty big night with a lot of teams opening up conference play. And now you're starting to see the picture sort of take shape for a lot of these teams. But this is certainly a game I think a lot of people had their eye on, with 2 teams unbeaten and a chance to really kind of climb that ladder in the SWC.
Yeah, it had to have been circled, and as you mentioned, there are a lot of big games, 7 in total right now within 1 possession, so that's amazing to see a lot of great competition going on around Lorain County. And here, I think it's really special because obviously you mentioned Olmsted Falls and North Ridgeville facing off tonight, and that's one heading into the season a lot of people probably figured would be a lot of stuff on the line there, and 2 teams with a lot of success last season. But these are 2 teams that are on the rise, still trying to prove themselves to some out there, and they're doing a great job of it tonight. A lot of talent and a lot of physicality on display in this game so far.
Make sure you tune in to the post-game show, brought to you by I-90 and Nissan in Sheffield Village, because the deals are so good. That's I-90 Nissan in Sheffield Village. Dave Granginski, Paul Williams, and Maria Janasco are back at the Radio Ranch. And when the games are over, they'll talk to all the game-winning coaches, and they'll talk to some players. They'll also get you updated on all the scores and much, much more coming up on the I-90 of I-90 Nissan in Sheffield Village post-game show. And Max, while we have a few moments here, let's shout out some of our other sponsors.
That's right. A lot of great organizations, businesses, and groups making this possible to be out here on Friday nights. And just you've seen a few on the screen when we go to break, but just to name a few more. Brian Baker for Lorain County Commissioner. You got Rich Resendez for Sheriff. Elyria Jewelers and Repair. We're treating customers like family. Lorain County Commissioner David Moore. Jack Hall for Sheriff. Kelly Dieter for State Rep, and Giovanna Scaletta Bremke as well. And I finish off there as the Midview Marching Band finishes off. And they were our Lorain County Spotlight Band of the Week that you can find every Friday on the radio airwaves in the 4 o'clock hour. So spoke with band director Colleen Creighton and everything going on with the Midview Band this fall and everything that they have coming up, as they're a big part of Friday nights as well.
Yeah, they're a huge part of it. I thought it was kind of cool during the pregame festivities. The two bands got together and collectively did the national anthem. That was a really cool sight to see two pretty big bands like that come together, and for a pretty special occasion too.
Certainly, it was great sound. I know I could easily hear them sometimes if they're on their own and you're far away at the press box like this. But yeah, just a very boisterous group tonight, and very cool to see on video as well.
Yeah, no doubt about that. All right, well, let's step aside and take one more break here in the Jeff Allison of Health Markets Insurance halftime show. When we come back, we will get you set for kickoff in the second half. Again, halfway through this one, Amherst 14, Midview 10 on the Lorain County Sports Network. Closing out our halftime show, brought to you by Jeff Allison of Health Markets Insurance, Amherst 14, Midview 10. It is a beautiful Friday night here in Grafton, and we hope that you're enjoying your Friday night wherever you may be tuned in tonight. I'm Andy Bolbarch. My tag team partner is Max Drummond. He's providing the colorful analysis throughout the evening. The captain of our ship is Edwin Vereen. He's our director, and Sam Sovakul is up on the roof. He's our cameraman tonight. Max, let's revisit some of our Mars Board of Lorain County keys to the game for both sides here in the second half.
Well, I mentioned for Midview, I thought it was very important for them to get out to a fast start and affect an Amherst team that's started on the slower side in recent weeks, but the opposite happened. Amherst got out to the quick lead, and now it's just obviously going to be about maintaining that. And with their rushing attack, in theory, that shouldn't be that hard of a thing to do, although on the other side, you're facing a very tough and what proved to be stout Midview defense there in that second quarter. And then looking over for the Middies, they've been very, very efficient through the air. Now they just got to get the running game to catch up a little bit, keep Cole Norris, keep that offense of the Comets off the field for a little bit longer, give your defense a little bit longer to rest, and just keeping them that much more effective as they were to close out that first half.
If we follow the schedule, this is the last time that we will see Midview this season, you and I anyways. We're scheduled to see Amherst one more time, though, when they head to Avon close to the end of the year. So it's been exciting to watch this one. This has been just as exciting as we thought that it would be. You know, you've got two, as you mentioned during the pregame show, of the 7 remaining teams unbeaten in Lorain County. Jim Allen had mentioned that, right? Put that Facebook post out there a little bit earlier talking about how this is the first time they've had 7 undefeated teams in Lorain County, I believe he said, since 1997, right?
That's right, yes.
Just incredible. And we have a lot of tight games going on tonight. And we talked about some of those just a little bit earlier. You know you'll have at least one more unbeaten at the end of this one. Avon looks like they're well on their way as they're leading Elyria 42-0. North Ridgeville trying to remain unbeaten, but they've got a tough task on their hands taking on Olmsted Falls. So we'll certainly keep our finger on the pulse of that as the night continues. And as we mentioned before, please keep an eye on your radio dial, the WOBL, WDLW, and also the WOBL and WDLW Facebook page for the I-90 Nissan and Sheffield Village post-game show. Dave Krenczynski, Paul Williams, Maria Janasco are back at the Radio Ranch, ready to update you on all the scores from across the area. They'll talk to some of the game-winning coaches and players and much more. Caught up with the Grizzer last night. He and I were both down at the Guardians game, down at Progressive Field. He told me he was jacked and ready for tonight, as he always is.
And it's got to be living up to the hype, as I'm sure they're looking all over the place, trying to keep track of all these great games and these scores, and extending a little bit more, looking back on some history. Obviously, we have the fun fact about over 20 years ago, as many teams, but both Amherst and Midview tonight looking to start 4-0 for the first time in over 5 years, as it's been a little while since they've been in this position.
Yeah, it definitely has. I think I was telling you, the last Amherst game I called was their heartbreaking overtime loss in the playoffs against North Royalton back in the pandemic year 2020 when everything was just so wild and bizarre. You had a short season, and so it's been a while, but it speaks volumes to just how well Coach Thome has done turning this thing around. And for Midview, for Coach Armstrong as well.
That's right, and so early into their times here as well.
Amherst will kick it off to begin the second half. Jack Coleman has it teed up, and it'll be a squib kick which goes down that left hash. It's retrieved by Tommy Comet at the 29-yard line. Well, he wanted to get up and run with it, but the officials were all over it, saying that his knee was down when he picked it up. So that's where this Midview offense will set up shop, trying to capitalize on all that momentum they developed on the final drive of the half.
That's right, as we saw so many passes there. As it's been a while since we've seen them be able to use the ground game, and got to wonder if they'll come out attacking with that, throwing some haymakers early on in this third quarter, if they'll continue to let Shea Williams continue to sling it.
Passarello, the tailback here. They've got the tight end Logan Lane lined up on the right side. Shea Williams had a real nice first half. They'll give this one to Passarello. He takes it right side up to about the 33-yard line. He's dragged down by Patrick Fellenstein after a pickup of 3 yards.
So many times in that first half, we saw them open drives or open a first down play with a pass, and now flipping on that, choosing to run the ball, and maybe we'll see them use that to set something else up here. Obviously, still have Dior Jones closest to you at the bottom of your screen. Huge impact player for this offense, as you saw in the first half.
Williams drops back, facing some pressure. Now he's in trouble, throws it away on the near side. He was in the grasp of Henry Sislow when he let that one loose.
And with the ball on the right hash, he was very close to still being inside that tackle box, and obviously the Amherst coach is now looking for a penalty flag.
And they get one. Jamie Mewini was talking it over with the officials, trying to determine whether he should or should not throw that flag for grounding. He decided to throw it, so intentional grounding is the call. And that's a loss of down. That's a big one to take on what was 2nd down and 7. The incompletion would have made it 3rd down and somewhat manageable, kind of long, but now it is a much more difficult scenario for the Middies.
Certainly is, and as you alluded to, Henry Sislo with the pressure up the middle there makes it a very inconvenient spot now.
3rd down and 15 for the Middies. They've got to get past their own 40-yard line. It looked like they were ready, and then the officials blew the whistles, and now they're trying to figure this out. It sure seemed like that's where the ball was supposed to be spotted, but now they're going to give Midview a couple of extra yards, and they'll put this down at the 27. So it's 3rd down and 13. Shea Williams works with Passarello to his right. Trots back, looking down the field. Fires this one deep down the left side. It's caught in stride by Camden Scott. Takes it down the far sideline, breaks the tackle. He's gone. Touchdown, Midview. It's a 73-yard touchdown pass. Shea Williams connects with Camden Scott on an enormous strike. And for the first time tonight, the Middies are in the driver's seat, leading 16-14. Not even a minute gone from this 3rd quarter clock.
What an amazing route by the senior Scott there. It's just a corner that he's able to beat his defender on, and he takes that one to the house. I mean, he only had 1 catch coming into this game, and now he's got 3 on the night, including a 73-yarder.
Ethan Morris on for the extra point. They'll send the snap back. The hold is down, and the extra point is blocked. So that keeps it a 16-14 contest with 11:07 to play in the 3rd quarter on the Lorain County Sports Network. On 3rd down and 13, a 73-yard touchdown pass from Shea Williams to Camden Scott. And for the first time tonight, Midview has the lead. They're on top of Amherst, 16-14. Boy, Max, we have seen one explosive play after another here tonight.
You're absolutely right. And this Midview offense has been living on it, especially on the passing plays. And on 3rd and long there, I got to wonder, maybe in the earlier weeks of the season, they may have tried to protect Shea Williams or just not risk anything, but right there showing a lot of faith in him here in his first season starting at varsity and letting him unleash the passing attack there on 3rd and long.
Ethan Morris will kick this away high, end over end, that will sail through the back of the end zone. We mentioned it earlier. It's time to mention it again. The first snap of each half is brought to you by Janasco Insurance. The protection you need, the service you deserve. That's Janasco Insurance. 16 unanswered points for the Middies. And Amherst is in a position tonight where they haven't been throughout the night, and that's behind.
That's right, facing a deficit, and it has been their calling card throughout games this season of coming from behind, especially in second half. So we'll see if they can continue that trend here this evening.
Byers off the right hip of the quarterback, Cole Norris, who's had a huge game on the ground. Takes the snap. He'll give to Byers. Byers tries the middle, and he's able to continue to push his way up near the 25, maybe just shy of that. Boy, some tough running there to pick up 4 yards in a play where it just didn't look like he had much room to run.
That's right. He's been doing the dirty work all night, and right now just averaging 3.6 yards a carry, but it's done a good job keeping them on schedule, and then eventually it opens up those long runs for Norris.
Play clock has gotten down to 15. And this is an offense that we saw twice already. I mean, they can score pretty quickly. Cole Norris will take the snap. Pressure coming. He throws right side. The pass is caught by Duzak. Makes a man miss at the 35, and then he's gang tackled at the 41-yard line. There is a flag all the way back at the 16-yard line, and there is an Amherst Comet pleading his case with the officials. This sure looks like a hold, and if that's the case, that negates what would have been a huge pickup.
Well, and Javion Bush, very physical to the blitzing man off of the edge there. As Max Kuchera came in late off of the outside, and I mean, he buried him. The flag came out awful late, so looks like it's of the personal foul variety.
Unsportsmanlike conduct going against Amherst.
So I will say, if you go back and watch it, it is a very effective block. He did a great job, but the play is gone. The ball is, Norris had already gotten rid of it long ago, and that's one where you just got to let up and move on to the next play.
So it's still a first down. It was a dead ball penalty, so it's first down and 10, but now they're starting this back at their own 26-yard line. And again, the result of the play would have been a first down again right around the 41, but this is a stinger. Snap will go to Norris. Norris tried to cut it up the field, but he was dropped right around the 29. And that time, Midview just swarming to the ball. There was just nowhere for him to cut back to, Max.
Yeah, and we've seen a couple times where he's been able to find a gap there to work with, especially when they're going to the outside like that, but just a great job of staying home on the wide side of the field there by the Middies defense.
And there are holes that were open earlier in the game that just don't seem to be open right now. Midview certainly has the momentum at this point. They're showing some pressure here on the right side from Kuchera. As Norris looks at his wrist, play clock down to 5. Gets the snap and drops back. Fires right side, caught by Schreiber. Schreiber gets inside the 40. He gets popped, but he hangs on. Took a big hit at the end of that play, but he picks up a first down.
Once again, hitting those out routes. We saw it on the play that was called back because of the penalty, but once again, they're just, with these quick hitting actions, are being very successful, and that's what they've done for a better part of the season here.
Braden Himoki with the big hit, and that's certainly one of our early candidates for the Ernie's Auto Body collision of the game. Norris looks to his left, throws left, and the pass sails over the head of Cale Charles. Way too much on that one. Charles tried to leap up and bring it down, but didn't have much of a chance. And the incompletion will set up second down and 10.
And that's too bad for the Comets. His receivers were setting up some nice blocks there. He at least had a couple of yards of space to work with, if not more than that, after the catch.
16-14, Amherst trailing Midview here in the third quarter. Norris on a run, right side, and he's twisted down just outside the numbers. Got his way up to about the 43. That's a 3-yard pickup, bringing up 3rd and 7.
And in these situations, obviously we expect a bit of the pass here, but Midview's going to have to stay home, and wouldn't be surprised if Dior Jones possibly entered the game, tried to get an extra pass rusher onto the field, but looks like they're going to keep their same formation.
Coming up on the 7th play of this drive, one that began back at their own 20-yard line. A 15-yard penalty set them back on a dead ball on sportsmanlike conduct. It's 3rd down and 7 here. Norris drops back, pressure coming, fires across the middle. The pass falls incomplete. A flag came in after that ball had hit the turf and was incomplete. Well, there was some tight coverage on Cale Charles, and it looks like that's going to extend this drive.
Well, that's a tough break if it is on Midview. I saw him remove the hand, so maybe he was being a little physical there, but by the time the ball arrived, it looked like he was doing more of a lean on him than a grab with either hand.
On 3rd down and 7, it's a pass interference penalty against Midview. Not only does that bring a first down into the equation for Amherst here, but it also puts the ball inside Midview territory at the Middies 42. They'll send this snap back from the right hash. Cole Norris has done most of his damage tonight with his feet. And he'll try and run it again. has a hole to work with, goes straight up the middle, and he goes inside the 35 to the 34.
And as much as Norris has a lot of speed and shows off a good amount of finesse when he's able to run the ball, there's also been a lot of times in previous games and tonight where he's gone right up the middle and put his head down, and he gets those tough yards just like Byers does.
He'll run it again. Has room to run. Takes it up the middle. He gets popped at the end of the play, getting to the 30-yard line. Wyatt Lehman was able to wrap him up. And we do have an injured Middy down in the field back around the 34-yard line. We'll step aside and take a quick injury timeout. 16-14, Midview on top of Amherst. 7:21 to go, third quarter on the Lorain County Sports Network. Nathan Schenberger is the injured Middy walking off the field, and he's doing so under his own power, which is a good sight to see. After that injury timeout, it'll be first down and 10 for Amherst. They're inside Middy's territory, inside the Midview territory at the Middy's 29-yard line. And Max, even though Midview certainly has the momentum, Amherst isn't that far away from snatching it right back.
That's right, and they're doing a great job sustaining this drive. We've mostly seen them hit home with big plays, and now they're showing they can go the length of the field.
Cole Norris has picked up some big chunks of yards with his legs the last two plays. They'll give it to Byers. Huge hole up the middle. Wyatt Lehman's able to take him to the turf at the 24.
Right now, the interior of that offensive line just doing a lot of the heavy lifting here with Jacob Bowden, Hunter Thornsberry, and Jordan Hatfield, the inside trio there, just leading the way.
Pass goes right side of Duziak. He's in open space, and Max Kuchera will grapple him and tear him down near the 16-yard line. Another first down.
The quick hitting action here really surprising Midview, who's also sending a lot of pressure off of the edges, so it's really opening those up.
Byers up the middle again. Drags a few defenders with him inside the 15. Gets his way up to about the 13-yard line. Inside of 6.5 minutes to go, third quarter. And they've had the ball for almost 5 minutes on this drive. This drive started back at their own 20-yard line.
Well, they're really trying to prevent this from becoming a track meet, which is what Midview is fully fine with here with how effective they've been scoring from distance.
Norris will grab the snap. They'll give it to Byers. Stretches the play to the outside, and then he's hit and dropped. Well, it was Cam West who initially stopped him. They'll mark him down near the 9, and he'll be about a yard shy, setting up third down and short.
Just like that. They'll keep applying this pressure here with the tempo.
They're going to go with a sneak. Norris has room to run, takes it straight up the middle. He'll pick up the first down. Passarello stops him at the 5, but that brings up first and goal.
Well, and Norris, he's been a threat with these QB sneaks a lot this season once again.
They'll go with the quarterback sneak again. Looked like he was stopped initially. Then he kind of bounced off the pile, taking it to the right side. And it looked like maybe he got to the 3.
I think it's somehow on that one, Braden Hamoki was able to get the outside of one of his legs there and just stop him from being able to drive his feet any further. But he's been really effective at that this year. And don't be surprised if he bounces it outside here to surprise the defense.
Second and goal at the 3, and somebody moved on that offensive line for Amherst, so this will cost them 5. Well, it's been a long drive, one that's seen a few penalties, a couple of big ones. Second and goal at the 8 now for the Comets.
Now it looks like they'll choose to open it back up here. A little bit further ways to go.
Yeah, a little more room to work with, right? Cole Norris will take the snap. He'll run it again. Takes it up the middle. He's got some room. He's able to march his way across the goal line. Touchdown, Comets. Cole Norris got bumped a few times on his way to the end zone. An 8-yard touchdown rush, his third of the night. And that will give Amherst the lead again. They're on top 20-16 with 4:49 to play in the third.
Well, he showed that whole drive. He is more than comfortable with those, whether you want to call him a quarterback dive or a quarterback draw. Either way, he's just finding the openings there. And on that final one, Byers with a great lead block in the hole.
Extra point is on the way, and it is good from Matty Gates. 21-16. Amherst has reclaimed the lead over Midview. They're on top with 4:49 to play here in the third quarter on the Lorain County Sports Network. Three touchdown rushes tonight for Cole Norris, his most recent one, an 8-yard trip to the end zone where he bumped off a couple of Midview defenders to give Amherst a 21-16 lead. Coming your way tonight from the Lang Optical broadcast booth. Lang Optical, see the difference. He's Max Drummond, I'm Andy Bullbarch. It has become a back-and-forth battle over the last few minutes. A 15-play 80-yard drive for the Comets, and they took 6.5 minutes off the clock.
We knew they were fully capable of that. It's the first chance we've got to see them work the length of the field tonight.
Coleman with a squib kick. Goes down that left hash. Wyatt Lehman on the return, takes it past the 40-yard line, barrels his way up to about the 43. So this will be good field position for Amherst. Or I should say this will be good field position for Midview, and they've had decent field position most of the night.
Well, it's interesting, the cat and mouse game they're playing. So Amherst looking to avoid any big plays happening. They've not elected to kick it deep. Instead, they go with these squibs, and even with that, these Midview drives have been able to start in really solid field position, and they keep going with it. So obviously they're pretty terrified of Passarello back there.
Williams drops back, facing pressure, setting up a screen, gets it to McMahon, takes it past the 45, breaks a tackle, then he's shoved out of bounds just past the 50 by Henry Sislow. They're going to spot him down at the 48. That's a 9-yard pickup on the screen.
Well, McMahon, great job after the catch, as he did have 28 receiving yards and a touchdown through the air coming into this game, and I thought for sure that the junior linebacker for the Comets, Mason Morales, would have him around the line of scrimmage that close to the sideline, but McCann proving why he is getting such a heavy workload to start this season.
Yeah, he and Passarello really kind of shared the workload in the Midview backfield. Williams sets up for a pass, fires across the middle, in and out of the hands of the tight end, Logan Lane. He had him open at the 39-yard line, but he could not hang on.
And the tight ends in this offense, they're primarily blockers, or they're used to help open up other routes down the field. And right there, Lane gets a rare chance to help move the chains, but as you said, just slipped through the fingers.
Well, that last drive, we mentioned 15 plays, 80 yards, resulting in an 8-yard touchdown rush for Cole Norris. Certainly an early candidate for our Valley Chevrolet drive of the game. Third down and short. Snap will go to Williams. Tries to take it across the right edge. He gets hit by Sislow, but he's able to spin his way past the marker and get to the 45 for a first down. Sislow had him right around the 48. But Williams was able to spin his way up to the 45 to pick up a big third down conversion.
Yeah, fantastic job there, just using his natural ability as a runner. And he hasn't been able to break a run off yet longer than 11 yards, but just a lot in key spots like that.
First and 10 at the Amherst 45. They'll give to Marcus McMahon. He's able to get by that first wave of defense, and he's able to get up to about maybe the 44 before going down after a pickup of just one, but it looked like they had him for a loss.
That's right. We're seeing a lot of second efforts here by this Midview attack here on offense, and that was one of the keys coming into the game. Can Amherst be sure tacklers this evening. Can they get them after the first guy? And so far, not as much as you'd like if you're a Comets fan.
Well, this offense certainly has picked up some steam their last couple of drives. Shea Williams drops back to pass again, throws right side, caught by the big fella Logan Lane, the tight end. It takes a few different Comets to take him down near the right hash. They'll tackle him at the 33, and that's another first down.
Well, and I love that by Williams, making sure to get everybody involved. And even though he dropped one a few plays ago, went right back to him, trust him there, and it this time gets them the first down. Good job by the tight end in the slot.
Continuing to move the ball down the field. Shea Williams sets up for a pass again. Now he's going to tuck it and run. However, he is corralled and dropped back at the 35-yard line. He ran right into the waiting arms of Braden Rosenbeck for a loss.
Well, and that's an awkward situation if you're Williams. You assume that action with your arm is going to open up the middle of that defense. And it has a decent amount of the night, but right there, Braden Rosenbeck staying home, and he had a quarterback right in his lap.
Call that a loss of 2, so it's second down and 12. 4 receivers at the disposal of Williams. He'll drop back, throws right side, caught by Dior Jones at the 26, and he nearly stepped out of a tackle trying to shake Ashton Draga. And he's close to a first down based on the initial spot. Looks like he's going to be just a little bit short.
A nice 11-yard pickup there for this offense as they continue to end up in these third and shorts. And as of late, they've been doing a good job on converting them.
Third down and 1. Williams takes the snap. They'll give to McMahon. McMahon is hit and dropped in the backfield, pounding the turf as he gets up. And Max, I'm not so sure. Maybe he ran into his own lineman there.
It did look that way as they were stonewalled up front. And not only did he not get back to the line of scrimmage, it appears he lost a yard or two and makes this fourth down much tougher here against this Amherst defense that's, to start the game, did a lot of bending and not breaking.
They'll bring Brayton Himoki into the game as the tight end lined up on the right side. Fourth down and 2. Williams takes the snap. He'll run it himself. Takes it straight up the middle. He's going to be awfully close, and it looks like he's got the first down from here. But they have to officially spot this before we could tell you for sure. The official on the far side made it look like he was going to mark that down near the 23. And now they're kind of pointing at each other. And I think they need the chain gang to come out here and take a look at this. It's hard for us to see where exactly that's spotted. That's awfully close, Max.
And the ball not on the hash at the moment, making it a little tougher to see. We may get a better look here when the chains come across, but once again, leaving it in the hands of Shea Williams. He came very close.
I mean, we're a little off center here, so it's tough for us to tell you definitively. This is going to be awfully close. Lots of bodies in the way, so again, it's hard for us to tell. All the way Amherst is celebrating, it's going to be another turnover on downs. This Amherst defense has answered the bell time and time again here tonight. While Midview's offense did catch some lightning their last couple of drives, they turn it over on downs here again. And the Amherst defense not fooled. It was third down and short. And the Middies, despite that, Max, just could not pick up a yard and a half to keep the drive going.
Yeah, and they found themselves in a few spots like that tonight. And I think that just speaks to, even though they're on the smaller side, that speaks to the physicality and the tenacity, if you will, of that Amherst box.
They'll start this drive at their own 23-yard line. Still in the lead. Amherst leads 21-16. Not in any hurry here. Play clock is inside of 10, though, going down to 5. Cole Norris will run it. Takes it up the middle, bounces off, and spins his way up to maybe the 28 for 5 yards.
So now in a situation like this, you got another lengthy field to work with for the Comets offense, and we've seen them put the tempo on display. I can't imagine we'll see much of that, or at least see them snap it as quick as they have sometimes tonight.
Midview is showing blitz, and then Marcus McMahon backed off. They've kept the same personnel on the field for the most part throughout the night. Cole Norris gets the snap. They'll give it to Byers. Byers hit initially and dropped at the 26. It was Sawyer McMillan who initially grabbed him and brought him down, limiting him to a gain of just a couple.
That's right. Him and Amoki helped finish off that play, and now sets up a crucial third down here with under a minute to go in the third quarter.
So it's third down and 3 to go for Amherst. They've been at the line quickly, and they've kind of taken their time. This has been their MO throughout the night.
Well, and it's done a great job helping them diagnose where those blitzes may be coming from Midview.
Play clock down to 5. Byers lines up on the right side of Norris. Norris is going to run it himself. Takes it right side, and he gets up to about the 30-yard line. That'll be more, I should say the 35. That's more than enough for a first down.
It seems like whenever in doubt or whenever the drive is in question, just let Cole Norris find a spot to go up front there inside the tackles, and he's come through just about every time for them.
They don't have to run another play here if they don't want to. They can let the rest of this third quarter clock expire. They'll send Duziak in motion near side. It'll be a handoff to Byers. Big hole run off the middle, and he's able to work his way up to the 44. And that should do it for the third quarter as we see zeros on the clock. 3 down, 1 to go at the end of the third. It's Amherst 21, Midview 16 on the Lorain County Sports Network. All set to begin the fourth quarter of action here in Grafton at Midview High School. And we've got a thriller so far tonight. It's been an entertaining ball game. 21-16, Amherst has the lead and the ball to begin the fourth quarter. Max, this Midview defense has been called on time and time again, and there's time to work with here, but they've been moving backwards on this drive, and a lot of the damage has been done on the ground of late for the Amherst Comets.
That's right. In the Middies defense, they have stepped up when needed tonight, and they've also had their moments where they've had big plays. They've surrendered big plays, and right now it seems like Amherst is very content to keep it on the ground where they've had over 230 yards on the night. So big ask here to get a stop by this Middies defense.
They'll give to Byers again. Byers is able to plow his way up to the 47, and that'll move the sticks yet again.
So right here, this is kind of alluded to it coming out of the break there, but it's a very dangerous spot here for Midview to be in as the fourth quarter opens, but with more than half the field to go, you could feel like Amherst would take up a lot of time if they can keep sustaining these second and third down conversions.
You're right. They can certainly chew up a lot of clock here. They were up 14-0 at one point. Then Midview came storming back. It'll be a run by Norris. Norris trying to take it left side. Then he made a quick cut, and then he was hit from behind and tackled at the 48. There's Sawyer McMillan, that sophomore, in on a lot of different stops along with Braden Hamoki. Those are two names we've heard a ton here tonight.
Yeah, and they certainly have a microscope on them because with only 3 men up front, especially against an offense like this, they have got to be able to win at the point of attack and help keep those offensive linemen off of their backers.
It's just a 2-yard pickup. 2nd down and 8 coming up here for Amherst. Norris will drop back to pass, facing pressure, throws across the middle. A sliding catch is made right around the 32-yard line of Midview for a first down. But we do have flags back around the 43-yard line. It was Cale Charles who made the nice sliding grab, but this was thrown right in the area where you normally see a hold.
And because of the beautiful throw and catch, I was caught looking downfield myself. We'll see.
It is a hold. And that takes away what would have been almost a 20-yard pickup.
That's right, and I was almost surprised to see them choose to go to the air there, but it was a great shock play. And after the completion of that pass, it did appear that Bush on that left side of the line was pleading a case to the official once again. So that Midview defensive line may have been Dior Jones involved up there, but they've applied some pressure here in the passing game.
2nd and long. And there's movement on the left side of the Amherst offensive line, so they continue to move backwards.
And this is where Midview has been able to get those crucial stops, especially in the first half. We saw it was based off of either a drop snap or a procedural penalty, maybe a holding, and right now we're seeing it happen again.
2nd down and 23. This is a pretty promising drive before the penalty. Cole Norris grabs the snap. He'll run it left side. Dior Jones able to catch up to him, though, as he tried to turn the corner, got to him at the 39. So he picks up a few on that, and we have more flags coming in at the end of the play. Lots of laundry coming from that far side. Now, Midview kind of came out of there celebrating, but we still have no indication as to what this one's all about.
Yeah, right there. A couple pass blockers down the field in the secondary maybe, and obviously the play took shape over there on the far side near the numbers. Could be a couple different calls coming our way. Who knows?
We have a personal foul against Amherst.
So we've seen them tonight be very physical at the point of attack, and especially with their blockers, and not just the offensive linemen, but these receivers and other backs have done a good job downfield, but maybe just getting a little carried away after the whistle. It's with good intentions, but obviously Coach Thome not excited, not very, very unhappy about that right now.
That's 3 straight penalties against Amherst. They have a long ways to go here on 3rd down. Norris drops back, looks left, throws left. The pass is caught by Charles along the far sideline, and he's knocked out of bounds close to the 40, where he will be well short. And that's got to be a tough pill for Amherst to swallow, because, Max, you go all the way back to that first penalty. They had the ball inside the Midview 40. Then there was the hold. Then there was the false start. Then there was that personal foul penalty. And then you were staring down the barrel of 3rd and a country mile. Now they've got to punt it away.
Yeah, and right there just had to get whatever yards you could to help Cole Norris out here on this punt. And it's very unfortunate, because that's a drive where you could look to take over this game in a sense. But now a Midview offense that's been very potent in the second half may get another shot.
Someone trotting out of the field late. That's Oliver Feckety. And a timeout has been called by Amherst. We'll take this timeout as well. 21-16, Amherst leads Midview. 10:07 to play in the 4th on the Lorain County Sports Network. Coming out of this timeout for Amherst, it'll be 4th down and long. They looked like they were set up to punt. Hard to believe they would do anything else. They did seem a little bit disjointed with a late substitution. So Coach Thome wanted to make sure he had everybody aligned appropriately before sending this kickoff. Mike Passarello and Dior Jones both back deep. A high snap. This will get behind Norris. Somehow he's able to get that kick away. A big kick that goes toward the far sideline, takes a big Amherst bounce going inside the 20-yard line, and that will be down at the 16. What a play by Cole Norris. It looked like that ball was going to sail behind him. Somehow he was able to reach up with his paw, slow that down, still pick it up, and Max, on top of that, he got a great punt away.
Yeah, that was an incredibly heads-up play there, and now we've seen the quarterback / punter on each side make a make an amazing play under a lot of pressure, no doubt, and still flip the field. Not only did he get it off, but, I mean, they're with the roll, they're inside their own 20.
They'll mark it down at the 16-yard line. That is one heck of a punt. Under pressure, no less, with a couple of guys charging after him.
I wonder if in his mind that's similar to getting a pass off when the pressure's coming at you. That one seems a little bit tougher to do.
Oh, there's no question about it. Williams in the shotgun. He's got McMahon next to him. Grabs that shotgun snap. They'll give to McMahon. Has a hole to work with up the middle. Makes one man miss. Fights his way forward to about the 19-yard line. Well, he picked up the few there, Max, but it felt like he had to do a lot of work to get 3 yards.
He absolutely did. Had somebody meet him almost right away and just try to bounce it outside.
And we have an injured player down on the field for Midview.
He attempted to get up, but probably for the best to get one of the trainers out there with him.
Well, it looks like cramping, and that's still, you're still at that time of year where that happens, right? We're getting close to the end of that where, you know, the heat will subside a little bit with the sun going down a little bit earlier, but it's certainly something for both sides to contend with. We'll keep it right here as they tend to the injured Middy with 9:39 to play. Now, look, we talked about that last drive. You know, off the air we were mentioning it seemed like the way this game was going, that was an opportunity for Amherst to deliver a knockout blow, but the penalty set them back. Then they had to punt it away, and that almost became a disaster. But Cole Norris saved it with an incredible punt, and now the script has kind of been flipped over to Midview. This is a pretty big drive for them because time is certainly becoming a factor.
Yeah, under 10 minutes to go, and we know how much each of these offenses are capable of running the ball, and when you have that much field to work with going towards the end zone, I mean, you can be as patient as you would like, and there was an opportunity there for Amherst to make it, even if they only got a field goal, an 8-point lead, it would have felt pretty good for the remainder of the fourth, but now Midview's with a chance to take the lead themselves.
2nd down and 7. They'll send Dior Jones in motion to the far side. Wallace will set up for a pass. Rolling out near side of the left, looking down the field, and the pass falls incomplete. There was nobody down the field. And there's a flag on the opposite side of the field. There's a flag all the way over at the 19-yard line, way away from where that play ended.
So on that one, Dior Jones went from motioning into his route right away, and he collided with Camden Scott's defender. Wonder if that'll factor in to what the officials saw here.
Illegal procedure against Midview. And now the mistakes are really beginning to add up for both sides.
That's right, and perhaps trying to get a head start on that route. He appears he did move forward before that ball was snapped, and that's one. It can be tough to notice when you're watching from a camera perspective, but the officials on at that time.
Fourth quarter clock continues to tick. It'll be 2nd down and 11. Shea Williams drops back, has lots of time to throw, but now he's being pressured a bit, rolling out to the far side, and he is going to try and avoid that first line of defense, and then he was twisted down in the backfield. He got away from that first defender, then he was tackled near the 12.
So right there, they had a wide receiver screen setting up on either side of the field. He decided to hold it, and with that, I mean, you got a couple guys downfield for the receivers, but they were trying to set up blocks. They're not even aware that he's scrambling, looking for somebody to throw to, and it now leads to a 3rd and long where you expect it's a for sure passing situation.
Hard to imagine it not being, right? I mean, look, this is a drive where not much has gone well for you. It's 3rd down and 13 from their own 13-yard line. Williams drops back. Looking down the field, he's in some trouble again as he rolls out right, escapes trouble, gets down the far sideline to the 25. He goes out of bounds, and it looks like he's got the first down. He's really close at the 26. It looks like that's where they'll spot him down. That's awfully close.
And if they do need to measure, good thing they're not too far to do so.
I'm amazed he even made that close. Again, it looked like they had him in the backfield. Somehow he was able to scoot, found a seam, and made his way near the marker.
Well, and on the short side of the field as well, you don't think he's got a lot of room to work with.
And great work by our cameraman, Sam Sovacool, to get all of you watching this at home a pretty good look at just how close that is. That brings up 4th down in inches.
It appears maybe half a football short. That's how close he got at that time.
Midview has not had a whole lot of luck against this Amherst defense on 4th down tonight. They've turned it over on downs a few times, but now it's 4th down and short. Williams operates out of the shotgun. Hard snap count. He runs up to the line of scrimmage, acting like he wants to take the snap. Now he'll back up. And we've got a flag on the near sideline. Somebody lined up in the neutral zone. Oh, that is a killer for Amherst. Somebody lined up off sides. And that's going to cost them 5.
And they may not have had any intentions there. Obviously, we know the punting act that Shea Williams can do, but another crucial offsides penalty being called on Amherst.
Jeez, that's a really, really tough one for the Comets. They have played incredibly well here tonight, but the penalties are really starting to add up for them here in the 4th quarter. So they'll pick up a 1st down because of the encroachment penalty with 8 minutes to go in this one. Shea Williams, time to throw. Fires this one deep down the field for Dior Jones, and the pass is knocked away by David Duziak, incomplete. They threw a jump ball down the field, and Duziak was able to jump up and bat it down.
Well, Jones had to come back for that one, but this secondary very effective in pass coverage this year. As a group, they've got 5 interceptions coming into this game, so we've seen them tested a few times right there, stepping up at a very important time as well.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion. They have it at their own 31-yard line. Amherst leading 21-16, 7:49 to play. Williams throws right side, caught by McMahon, and he was greeted immediately after he made that catch at the 35. So they pick up just a couple, setting up 3rd down.
Well, McMahon, he's become a pretty valuable asset in the passing game here, especially as the game has gone on. Up to 4 catches, 22 yards now. And it's been necessary because they've been forced almost to spread out this Amherst defense after the rushing game has not been what they thought it could be.
They'll spread them out again with 5 wide. It'll be a run. Williams by himself takes it past the 40. Tries to make a man miss. He gets to the near side. He's tripped up and he goes down at the 42. Bought himself some extra time and a couple of extra yards for a 1st down. You could hear the gasps on the near side because he almost cost them a 1st down by going backwards, but somehow he kept that play alive.
Yeah, it did appear that he may have been able to pick it up, but obviously he wanted to be certain, so bouncing it outside, and it's worked pretty well for him tonight as he trusts his running back vision and once again steps up as he is their leading rusher on the evening with 41 yards.
4 wide receivers for Williams to work with. He'll have McMahon in the backfield. Grabs a high snap, throws right, caught by McMahon, but we've got whistles and a flag. Somebody moved early. It looked like the receiver in the slot on the near side got a bit of a head start.
And obviously penalties at any point, you don't want to see that as a coach, but especially in crunch time, it just becomes that much more magnified, and it's a lot bigger of a deal here. 1st and 15, you can't have in a potential game-winning drive situation.
Clock inside of 6:40. Now they've had the ball for over 3 minutes on this drive. Shea Williams drops back, facing pressure, throws left side incomplete, looking for Dior Jones, who made a cut coming back to the ball. Ashton Draga was on the coverage. And it'll be 2nd and 15.
Henry Sislo, we've said his name a few times tonight, once again in the face of Shea Williams, and probably rushed a throw that we've seen open very often. Dior Jones still getting a few yards to work with there when the play begins.
Pressure begins to mount here on 2nd and 15. setting up a screen. Williams throws, caught by McMahon on the screen, gets out of one tackle, then he's corralled at the 40-yard line. Jeff Reichert looked like he kind of wrapped up his feet, and then Duziak came in at the end of the play to make sure he couldn't go any further than the 40.
And that screen right there, Williams was forced to wait a little bit before he let it go, as I'm sure up here it did look like he's open throw to him, but there were a lot of rush defenders to try to fit that through. And it allowed the Amherst linebackers and secondary to rally to the ball, forcing a 3rd and long here.
They picked up just a couple on that, 3rd and 13. Williams fires this one deep down the field, looking for Dior Jones, makes the catch and straight at the 20, to the 15, makes a man miss at the 10, gets into the end zone, touchdown Middies! Or no, did he lose the ball? He lost it at the end of the play and it went out of bounds, it's a touchback. It looked like he got across the plane, but the official said no, he lost it. The ball went out of bounds in the end zone. Oh my, what a major turn of events. For just a second there, it was a 61-yard touchdown pass, but he lost the ball, and then it went out of bounds in the end zone.
And on that one, dragging his defender into the end zone, and just very tough turn of events here from the Middies.
And Dior Jones is still down in the end zone. He gets up at the very end of the play, but my, oh my, what a gigantic shift as Amherst will get it at the 20. And the officials getting an earful from the Midview sideline. Well, one of the things I think that our head referee, Jamie Mewany, is hearing right now is how in the world can that official make that call from that far away? I mean, look, we're up in the press box. We have no idea. But all we can tell you is that the ball is being placed at the 20-yard line. It's 1st down and 10 for Amherst. And they have 5:32 left in this 4th quarter clock. This is an enormous drive for both sides.
And this is where the having not a lot of two-way starters comes into play for both sides, helps them out here.
It'll be a run by Cole Norris. Norris makes his way up to the 25-yard line, so he picks up 5 yards.
It's a good start to the drive for them. And now for this Midview defense, the reason I bring up it's good they don't have a lot of guys on offense there. There's such amount of adrenaline and excitement used on that play by everybody on the field, so it's good that they're able to swap out a few of those bodies here.
In no hurry clearly here. Trying to take as much time off the clock as they can. Amherst leads 21-16. 4th quarter clock has run inside of 5 minutes at 4:55. Duziak in motion coming to the near side. Norris will run it himself. He tripped in the backfield and fell down at the 23. Trying to make a cut because he did have a defender in the area, but he'll lose a couple setting up 3rd down.
Well, a great job by that defensive line there. Obviously, they didn't need to tackle him, but they followed some of the pulling linemen there that were trying to lead the way. And even if he hadn't slipped, there was probably a good chance he was getting caught behind the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 7. They'll give to Byers. Byers tries the middle, and he gets taken to the turf at the 27, so he picks up just a couple, setting up 4th down. Max, that's a big win for this Midview defense.
Oh.
Not only because they're able to get off the field, but think about what they just experienced. They thought they were going to be in the lead, and then it's ruled a fumble going through the back of the end zone for a touchback. That was a call they absolutely had to answer, and they did.
They did just that, and I mean, the game of football can be very unforgiving, but right there they took it into their own hands, and they're going to get the ball back with around 3.5 minutes left here, you would think.
Low kick. That will scoot out of bounds to the far side. It went out close to the 40-yard line of Midview. We'll have to wait on the official spot here to see exactly where they put it down. It'll be the 40. .334 to play in this one. What a contest this has turned out to be.
And I mean, as great as the catch and run was, and unfortunate as the ending of the play was for Midview last time out, you know they're looking to do the exact same thing. They have had so much success here, especially throwing the ball. They still have to be filled with a lot of confidence and knowing they can move the football here, and we'll see if the Comets defense can step up with a stop.
Comet defense has been really tough this entire game. They'll give to Passarello. Takes it straight up the gut, and he'll fall forward to the 46-yard line. So a good 6-yard pickup on first down.
And that's a name we have not said or called in a long time now. Got to imagine, even though he's been out there a lot on defense, he's got to have some fresh legs, not being tackled here in this second half.
Midview sideline trying to fire up this Middies crowd. Second down and 4 with just over 3.5 minutes to play. And now our head referee, Jamie Mewany, coming over to talk with Midview head coach Jack Armstrong. Don't know exactly what they were discussing.
This offense certainly ready to go.
They wanted to take 8 seconds off the clock. 3:25 left in this fourth quarter clock. Williams will hand off to Passarello. Turns the corner left side, gets past the 50, and then he gets out of a tackle at the 45, fought his way forward to the Amherst 43. Tough running from Mike Passarello, picks up a first down.
You know, he was our player of the game in week 1, and right now showing exactly why he earned that honor. Obviously, he hasn't been given as many opportunities on offense tonight, but still one of their best playmakers on the offense.
Midview will get their troops to the line quickly as we approach the 3-minute mark. Williams drops back, facing some pressure. Tried to set up a screen, throws this one down the field. He was looking for Passarello, but the pass falls incomplete. Ashton Draga was in the area to deny that screen from really developing. And Patrick Fellenstein was in the face of Shea Williams, forcing him to get rid of that early.
And now these screens, they're becoming less of a surprise to this Amherst front, and it's becoming a lot more difficult to fit them into the windows there to give these running backs even a chance of picking up a decent gain.
Well, with an defensive line that's a little bit lighter but pretty athletic, it's tough to get a screen game to work. Williams throws near side left. The pass is hauled in by Dior Jones. He was blanketed by Ashton Draga. Knocked out near the 37. And that makes it a third and manageable situation here. They've got to get past the 33 to keep the drive alive.
Well, that catch showed off the hand strength of Dior Jones. As he can show us all day what he does with his straight line speed, but he is a very complete receiver and showing it right there.
3rd down and 3. They'll give it to Passarello, takes it across the left edge, past the 30, dragged down along the near sideline. He goes down at the 27 for a first down. Tyler Den tackled him, but not before he was able to pick up a fresh set of downs.
And so they've not had the most success running straight north and south at Amherst. So right there, until this drive, I should say, but right there, Passarello having the open field to work with and takes full advantage, getting the first down.
2 minutes to play in this one. It's 1st and 10 for Midview. A keeper, Williams with room to run. Inside the 20, he goes down at the 18-yard line. He picks up just about 10. And now they say he may have gone down at the 19, so it's a 9-yard scamper setting up 2nd down and short.
And the amount of balance on display on this drive has been remarkable. I mean, they're getting it however they would like at the moment.
Passarello off the right hip of Shea Williams. He'll grab the snap. They'll give to Passarello. Turns the corner left side. Inside the 15 he goes, and he's tackled by Shaddai Cooper at the 13-yard line. That's another first down.
And they're really liking their matchups over there on that left side of the ball. You have left tackle Leo Swinski as well as the backup tight end in right now, Braden Hamoki, leading the way, setting the edge very nicely.
Amherst 21, Midview 16. Middies had the ball inside the Steve Lawson of Russell Real Estate Services red zone. 1:10 to play in this one. Marcus McMahon comes into the game. He's the tailback. Williams drops back, looks right, throws right, caught by McMahon in the flat, bobbled it, recovered it, and he's able to get inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Somehow Marcus McMahon hung on to that pass after he kind of tipped it up in the air and corralled it, picking up about 5 yards.
Well, and that play did a perfect job of showing how much of a threat these receivers are for Midview, as there was nobody in the flat even close to him, allowing him to corral that.
Williams grabs the snap. They'll give it to McMahon. McMahon takes it to the 5-yard line, keeps his legs moving, pushing the pile inside the 2. He's awfully close, and he goes down near the 1-yard line. 25 seconds to go, and we have whistles. We have a timeout called, and timeout has been called. We're trying to find out who called it. Timeout has been called by Midview. Everybody stopped. We couldn't tell who called for that timeout, so our apologies there. We were waiting for our head referee, Jamie Mewany, to let us know what the deal was. It's 1st and goal for Midview, down 21-16 with 25 seconds to go. Wow.
You can just hear the emotion coming out of this crowd right now, as, remember, 4-0 is on the line. Both teams undefeated at the moment, and, I mean, it's a shame because it feels like both of these teams deserve to move on to 4-0, but somebody's got to take it home right here, and we'll see who's got more left in the tank.
You got that right. Both teams have tough tasks next week. Amherst takes on Berea Mid-Park. Midview will take on Avon Lake. It is 1st and goal from the 2. This has been a tough place for this Midview offense to operate throughout the night. Can Amherst come through with another big stop? Passarello, the tailback. Williams takes the high snap. He gets corralled in the backfield, almost got out of the tackle, but he was dropped by Jeff Reichert back at the 8-yard line. And Midview has to burn another timeout with 19 seconds left.
And on that one, the timing of the plays thrown off, and it just allowed it to break down, and the Comets really did a great job capitalizing there on that opportunity.
It was 1st and goal at the 2. They end up losing 6 yards on that play. And we see some pacing going on in the stands right down below us. Lots of frustration, but look, there's still 19 seconds left. They do have one more timeout to work with. But getting into the end zone has been an arduous task for the Middies here tonight.
It really hasn't. And as you mentioned, with just the one timeout, the running has been effective, but in a spot like this, you may have to try to go to the air, and that way if there is an unsuccessful play, you can just throw it out of bounds or stop whatever you can to stop the clock here, as it wasn't playing as big of a factor a couple plays ago, but now that's something they're going to have to be monitoring here inside the 10.
Dior Jones lined up near side left on your screen. Out of this shotgun, Williams with 2 tailbacks in this formation. Grabs the snap. They'll give to McMahon. McMahon turns the corner left side. He gets tackled at the 5-yard line. Dropped by Ashton Draga. And the Middies have no choice. They've got to use their final timeout with 13 seconds left in this one.
Ooh, so that one definitely a setup play here for the next 2 downs. Is you got to imagine they'll go to the air, or at bare minimum, leave the ball in Shea Williams' hands. And if he sees an opening, we know he'll take it based on what he's done all night.
Going to be really interesting to see what they do here. With 13 seconds, you'd like to think there's probably enough time for 2 plays. No timeouts left. They had Dior Jones lined up on the short side of the field for that last play. You got to wonder where they'll put him for this next play here. How about this Amherst defense? Nothing has been easy against this group. They have been terrific all night long.
They've been on the field here in the second half quite often and still just finding ways to come up with stops.
Coming up on play number 12 of this drive. Amherst 21, Midview 16, 13 seconds to play. It's 3rd and goal from the 5 for the Middies. Listen to this crowd. Mike Passarello, the tailback. Dior Jones is the receiver lined up at the top of your screen, far side to our right. Williams takes the snap, looks left, rolling out near side. He's going to run it, and he's going to step out of bounds near the 4-yard line. He didn't see anything open down the field, and he saw an opening, got to the sideline, steps out of bounds with 6 seconds to play. So it will all come down to this.
Well, as you might expect, all the routes were going towards the end zone. Braden Hamoki was jammed at the line for a moment. He broke open, but by then Williams had to take off because of the pressure and a very heads-up play to get out of bounds, obviously. And it all comes down to this bowl. What a game and what an ending we're in store for.
Just as exciting as we thought it would be. 4th and goal at the 5. Dior Jones in motion to the right. Williams drops back. He gets popped. The ball's on the turf. Shadai Cooper picks it up, and they've ruled it incomplete. And the game is over. There is a flag at the 19-yard line. Oh my, what an incredible effort by this Amherst defense. It was ruled an incomplete pass. Shea Williams was popped as he tried to let that one loose. A dead ball, personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty went against Amherst. There's no time left on this clock. That will bring this one to a close. What an exciting finish. Heartbreak for the Midview Middies as the Amherst Comets come on the road and they take down Midview to win it 21-16. So many times tonight, Midview had the ball not only in the red zone, but they were inside the 10-yard line, Max, and just could not cash in. This Amherst defense just withstood one big blow after another.
Yeah, once the field shrunk down, I mean, this Amherst defense stood tall, and they also did it in some very important spots, whether you want to go back to the opening drive when Amherst really could have capitalized and taken some early momentum, but obviously right here, the biggest defensive plays of their season, and they come away with the stops. Just an incredible effort from the Comets out there.
All right, well, in just a moment, we will launch right in to our I-90 of Nissan and Sheffield Village post-game show. We'll get you some final stats. We will get you a scoring recap and much, much more as this one wraps up. What a ball game here tonight. Amherst 21, Midview 16. We'll come back with more here in just a moment on the Lorain County Sports Network. an outstanding game here tonight at Midview High School, where the Middies fall 21-16 to the Amherst Comets. A battle between two unbeatens. We figured it would be good, and it absolutely was. Came all the way down to the very last play. It was Henry Sislow who applied the pressure. He popped Shea Williams. The pass was ruled incomplete as the ball fell to the turf, and that put an end to this one. Midview had the ball first and goal inside the 5-yard line of Amherst, but could not cash in and get what would have been the game-winning touchdown. A heartbreak for the Middies here tonight, and for the Amherst Comets, what a win. So many times that defense was backed up by the shadows of their own end zone, and they just came through, Max, time and time again.
Right, that's a defining win for not only this season but for this program, to come out in a game where you didn't play your best game by any means, but you still stepped up in every crucial opportunity and moment that was thrown your way, and you were facing a team with just as much talent as you on the other side, and just an amazing way to start SWC play.
Yeah, no question about that. And I mean, we have some awards to give out here, but there's just so much to digest in this game. And again, we encourage all of you to tune in to WOBL and WDLW, to Dave Grenchinsky, Paul Williams, and Maria Janasco with the I-90 of Nissan at Sheffield Village post-game show. They'll have all the details. They'll talk to some of the game-winning coaches and players from tonight and get you all the scores and much, much more. But let's take a look at a couple of our awards. We begin with the Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Lorain County big play of the game. Be a big, get a big. That's Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Lorain County. And Max, there were a couple of huge ones here tonight. One for the Amherst Comets, a 98-yard touchdown rush from Cole Norris. I don't think there's any taking away a big play from that, right? I mean, I think that's got to be one of the winners. But all throughout the night, Midview called the number of Dior Jones, and he almost had two monster touchdowns. He did have one on a 46-yard touchdown strike. They were oh so close to getting another one, which would have been over 60 yards, but he lost the ball just before he got to the goal line. It went out of bounds. It ended up being a touchback and a huge moment in this game. Those are our two plays of the game, in a game that was full of big plays.
Certainly so, and even though that second one by Jones did not end up standing, I mean, it was still just added to the intrigue and the drama of this game, and it made it extremely special. And those plays as well took a lot of pressure off of the offenses attempting to drive the length of the field, which both showed the ability to do, but it was tough with great defenses out there that they were going against.
Yeah, and look, they had their backs against the wall all night long, and you just can't say enough good things about this Amherst defense. They were just tough. They were rugged, and anytime it looked like Midview was poised to score, Amherst was able to find an answer and keep them off the scoreboard. All right, well, let's take a look at our collision of the game, brought to you by Ernie's Auto Body. The top auto body shop at Avon, it's Ernie's Auto Body. It's the last play of the game. Henry Sislow was a name we said throughout the night, and he came through in a monster moment as he collided with Shea Williams in the final play of the game, forcing the incompletion. And this was a game that had lots of big collisions, but none bigger than that.
Yeah, and he may not have gotten an official sack, but several times, as you alluded to, we mentioned his name, he got to the quarterback in his face. And right there, though, he practically finished it all. I mean, that's essentially a strip sack or a sack to end the game. Just outstanding effort on his part.
Yeah, absolutely it was. And we have lots of candidates, too, for our Zabel Apparel Company Player of the Game. Be game day ready all year long, and I don't think there's any denying that Cole Norris was game day ready. He accounted for two huge touchdown rushes in this game in the first half. One a 98-yarder, then a 35-yarder, and then he took one in from 8 yards out in the second half, which proved to be the eventual game winner, and that brought an end to a 15-play, 80-yard drive where they took lots of time off the clock. So Cole Norris is our player of the game. And as we said about the play of the game, look, there are a lot of guys that were certainly worthy of player of the game candidates in this game.
Yeah, I mean, when we get into the Al Januzzi CPA stats, it'll exemplify it even more on why he was very deserving tonight, and it especially our first impressions of him on the season.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Well, that brings us to our Valley Chevrolet drive of the game. Keep on driving with Valley Chevrolet in Wellington and Huron. We referenced it a few moments ago. A 15-play, 80-yard drive in which the Amherst Comets went up 21-16 on an 8-yard touchdown rush by Cole Norris. Again, it proved to be the game winner, and it was the longest drive of the night. Max, let's take a look at some of these stats, courtesy of Al Januzzi, CPA.
Well, we'll begin with our Zabo Apparel player of the game in Cole Norris, as he was outstanding on the ground, not only with the big plays, but with a lot of hard-earned yardage. 22 carries, 189 yards, 3 touchdowns, and then through the air, he also completed 6 of 8 passes for 56 yards to a couple different receivers. And then over on the Midview side, I mean, what an outstanding effort from Shea Williams. And we saw him earlier this year where he didn't get to put his arm on display as often, but tonight took full advantage. 24 of 34, 362 yards, 2 touchdowns. And, I mean, he was outstanding in his own way as well. This quarterback duel was legendary, and his top receiving target, Dior Jones, 9 catches, 190 yards and a touchdown. And then looking at the ground game a little bit, Passarello, 10 carries, 58 yards, and McMahon, 7 carries for 17 yards. So he was bottled up a little bit more than we expected, and certainly than we saw in week 1.
Yeah, and look, those numbers, just incredible for both sides. This was a game we figured would be awesome, and it lived up to the billing. I mean, going unbeaten in non-conference play, you get ready for the SWC. I think this was certainly the top ticket in the SWC this week. There's no question about that, although there may be some between Olmsted Falls and North at Ridgeville that might argue that. But this game was just as great as we thought that it might be. Again, it's heartbreak for Midview. There's no doubt about that. Losing a game like this where you had chances to score, you got not only in the red zone, but you were set up first and goal and could not score. It just speaks volumes just about how great this Amherst defense was. And it tells you that Amherst has probably done a little bit more than just turned a corner under Coach Thome.
You're absolutely right. I mean, this is becoming consistency now. They're putting it together over multiple weeks at a time, and it becomes even more important to do so once you hit conference play, and they look well on their way.
No question about that. Well, we mentioned that waiting back at the Radio Ranch is Dave Grenczynski, Paul Williams, and Maria Janasco for the I-90 Nissan and Sheffield Village postgame show. Want to remind you to stay tuned all year long to the Golden Helmet Award Watch, thanks to the fine folks at Nick Abraham Elyria Ford. And we also want to shout out Jones Bones Barbecue and Grub, the official barbecue of Lorain County Friday Night Lights. Again, your final in this one, 21-16. Amherst remains unbeaten on the season. They go to 4-0. Midview falls to 3-1. Next week, we are at Elyria Catholic High School for EC and Padua. That's our next game, and that'll be the 5th week of the season. Almost halfway there. Hard to believe. It kind of feels like this thing just started, Max.
You're absolutely right. I mean, especially when we're back where we were in week 1 to open the year. So it's been an exciting start to the season. And hey, same time next week. Can't wait to do it again.
Absolutely. The Four Horsemen will be back in Elyria at EC next Friday night. That's all the time we have for you this evening. Want to say thanks to all of you who tuned into this one tonight. Whether you caught just a bit or the entire thing, either way, we'd like to say thanks to you for making us a part of your Friday evening. Our thanks to Dan May and the athletic staff here at Midview. We'd like to thank them for their help and hospitality throughout the night. Always love coming to Midview to call football games. We hope we get a chance to do that before the year is out. I would like to say thanks to the entire broadcast team. You guys did a wonderful job, as you always do. Edwin Vereen, our director, Sam Sovacool, up on the roof, operating the camera tonight, and of course my tag team partner, Max Drummond. Before we go, where are you tomorrow for the junior LC8?
Well, we're going to be up in the northern territory of Lorain County at Brookside High School, and we'll have a doubleheader beginning at 3:15 right here on